Park. It's the showpiece of the season. It's the JJB Sports Irish Cup final, and it's the holders Linfield against Dungannon Swifts. Yes, it's Town v Country, the City Slickers of Linfield taking on the boys from County Tyrone. Dungannon Swifts playing in their first ever cup final, up against the mighty Linfield, who've already captured the league championship. Both here today on merit, and both know how to score.
That's a free header for Ferguson, and Thompson has snapped up the loose ball. Stewart gives chase, and he gets in the flick. And what a goal from Thomas Stewart. It's his first touch.
And let's hope we get loads of goals this afternoon. With me in the studio today, Glentoran striker Chris Morgan and Coleraine manager Marty Quinn. Two men who know what it's like to celebrate an Irish Cup victory. There's Gorman. Gorman did well to rob him. It's through Morgan. This is a real chance. Oh, and he's taken it. And how? It's 1-1.
Martin Quinn up. Isn't that brilliant?
They're calling Marty Quinn up. There's Marty Quinn. There's the skipper just in front of him. David Jeffries, man of the match. And up it goes. And up go the fireworks here too. Marty, you'll enjoy seeing those pictures again. Big memories.
Yeah, they're fantastic memories of my football career, Jackie. You know, you can't beat it on cup final day. This is what it's all about. Big crowd up from Dungannon. Obviously Linfield here in their maximum once again. But very fond memories for me on that day. We've been there again since, and I can't remember the following year. I think we maybe got beaten that one, but
I think you were,
you only remember the winning days, and that was a great day.
Chris, you'll remember that goal, playing for Linfield. 2 on the day against Portadown to win.
Yeah, I've been involved in 3 finals, and I've only won the one. The other 2, both big 2 finals, and I've lost both of them. So cup finals are about winning. You know, it's great to get here, and it's a great occasion, a great atmosphere, but there's nothing beats that winning feeling. Yeah,
you're here to win. Okay, this afternoon, Dungannon Swifts will look to the inspirational Rodney McAllister to supply experience and a cutting edge in the midfield. And this loyal club man is playing through the pain barrier in this final. He's due for surgery on a knee injury next week. Denise Watson has been to see him.
Have a little patience. Have a little patience.
The Irish Cup final is what I've been really striving to achieve, is to do something with my local club and something that I'm going to be very proud of.
Rodney McAllister badly needs surgery on his knee, but not before the cup final. The dedicated 32-year-old would rather play through the pain barrier than miss out.
I need the cartilage worked on. I need whether it needs removed or whether it needs just tidied up. There's also a problem with the 2 bones is banging together that I might need some drilling done to the bone, so it makes it bleed, and then the bleeding will make the knee recover through time. So
during the day, Rodney shares his skills with the younger generation as an IFA grassroots development officer. Who is Dungannon Swifts' best player?
Rodney! Enough of that.
Have a little patience. Have a little patience.
I think I'll leave the last word to the boys in the Dungannon dressing room about the Irish Cup.
Bring it on! Bring it on indeed. They seem to be up for it, Dungannon Swifts. Well, a short time ago, they arrived at the stadium in their brand new suits. Here's the manager, Harry Fay.
What's it like arriving in the cup final day? It must be a dream come true.
Oh, superb, it's brilliant. You know, you can get carried away with all the razzmatazz now. We need to get our focus right and make sure that we're up for quarter to three, and we're really, really looking forward to it, I must say, you know.
Arrived in familiar surroundings, looking for a League and Cup double. Here's Big David.
For me as a player, I never won it. Thankfully, as a manager, I've won it twice. We know today's going to be very, very tough. Dungannon are an excellent team, and it's going to be a tough game. But we're looking to do our best, and I just hope on today our best will be good enough.
The big man looking forward to it. Now, in 55 games this season, Linfield have had 28 clean sheets. It says much about their defensive qualities, and one man in particular, the goalkeeper, Alan Mannus. Here's Denise again.
Alan Mannus is one of 6 players on a full-time contract with Linfield, the club he's been playing at for 9 years since he was 16. He's no stranger to cup finals and insists there are no strange rituals he must go through ahead of kick-off.
I would try and prepare myself, you know, get my mind right and do a good warm-up and make sure I eat properly and things like that, but nothing superstitious or anything like that.
Alan and teammate Peter Thompson were in a light-hearted mood when I caught up with them, but there's a strict timetable to adhere to on match day.
Well, I'm in a privileged position inside the Linfield dressing room now with Alan, and apparently this is where all the secrets go up ahead of the game. How long ahead of the game does Davy do the team talk?
Well, if kick-off's at 3 o'clock, he would normally talk at about quarter to 2, and then he would do his talk for maybe 10-15 minutes, and then, you know, we've got about 20 minutes or so to get ourselves ready and get out onto the pitch then for the warm-up.
Any jokers in the pack? Are you going to divulge?
There's quite a few of them, you know, there's a few jokes go on, but some of the things I don't think I can repeat what goes on. So.
A lot of pressure on the men from Linfield, of course, trying to capture that League and Cup double in successive years. Just looking outside, the crowd is gathering here. It's mostly blue and white today. It's a bit confusing to know who's who. Both have blue and white. Linfield will wear their blue jerseys today by tradition. They won the toss, and Dungannon Swifts will be in white. Oh, we've got a drummer as well, I see. We're expecting a crowd, some over 2,000 from Dungannon Swifts and about 5.5 from Linfield. So what's that, about 7,500? Balloons and everything there. It is the showpiece. It is that carnival day. Everybody likes to win the league championship, but this is a big day with a big trophy at the end of it. Now, we can get a view from the pitch side in the midst of all that hubbub, and that comes from a man who was an Irish Cup winner with Linfield way back in 1978. He's alongside our man with the mic, making his Irish Cup final debut. He's Thomas Kane. Thomas.
Yeah, it's a first Irish Cup final for me, a first Irish Cup final for Dungannon Swifts. I think it's a lot more nerve-wracking being in the pitch out there rather than standing talking to you, Billy. Will that be a factor playing in front of such a huge crowd?
I think it will. As I was a player and a manager, I always felt that nerves for cup finals were a factor. For Linfield, the season they've had the last 2 months, nearly every match has been a cup final in the last 2 months. For Dungannon, their first time in an Irish Cup final, I just hope that the occasion doesn't get too big for them. You know, sometimes you go out and you leave your playing boots behind the dressing room, you're overawed by the situation, but Linfield have been in this position many times, and that's why I would favour Linfield to win this match.
What do Dungannon have to do to stamp their authority in the game against a team that are going for a double-double and a treble this season?
I think Dungannon have to come out and really close up shop the first 15 to 20 minutes, make it really tight. Don't be over-adventurous, and once they get over that 20-minute spell, if they haven't conceded a goal, then they can play their way into the game.
You say you fancy Linfield, but can Dungannon do it?
Of course, on a cup final, it's whoever performs on the day, and whoever goes out and plays the best football will win the game.
Great atmosphere down here at pitch side. Back to you, Jackie.
Thank you very much indeed, Thomas. Well, the atmosphere is growing. We are, what, about 5 minutes, 6 minutes away from the earlier kick-off time today of 2:45. Chris, Linfield, the big favourites. What do you think?
Justified big favourites, I think. The fact they're going for a double, they've been here so many times. I think it's, you know, it's there for Linfield to win. I honestly can't see any other result.
Marty, a lot of people see it as being very one-sided. I'm not sure that it will be a landslide at all. I think Dungannon are a pretty good side, but Linfield, for me, have more power, more quality.
Yes, I would agree with you, Jackie. Obviously, Dungannon just haven't arrived here today to make up the numbers. They'll be doing their damnedest to try and get a result. My mind strings back to 2003 when the very underrated Korean team came and beat Glentoran on the day against all the odds. And if Dungannon can keep it tight early days, I expect they'll probably start off with a 4-5-1 and then become 4-4-2 as the game goes on. So it'll be a matter of containing Linfield for a period of time. But I fancy Linfield to win it, but I don't think it'll be easy for them.
Yeah. As a manager of that country team coming up to play one of the big two, what would be the basic message at this time from Harry Fay? A lot of the players might have this feeling that, oh, we can't win this. What does he say?
Well, I would always tell my players to have respect for the opposition, but don't fear them. Dungannon have excellent players throughout their team, the players who can hold their own at any level within the Irish League. And if they go out and they play their best on the day, they'll be very difficult to beat. If they go out in the freeze, Linfield get an early goal, they'll find it very hard to raise their heads again. So go out, treat with respect, but don't fear, move forward and progress as the game goes on.
And Chris, Big David, big favourites, what, 2-7 or something. What's David saying? There can be no complacency.
He'll say exactly what Marty has said, you know, that give your opponent the utmost respect, and it wouldn't matter if it was Dungannon they're playing in the final or a team from the Amateur League. One of David's biggest strengths is his professional approach to every game, and I don't think Linfield will come out and underestimate Dungannon in any shape.
Okay, here they come. Both teams on the way. You'll hear the welcome, and as the tension and excitement grows, it's time we made our way to the commentary box to join a man who's played in an Irish Cup final, Crusaders manager Stephen Baxter, and he's alongside our own Joel Taggart.
Thank you, Jackie. What a historic day for Dungannon Swifts. A first ever appearance in the Irish Cup final for the team from Tyrone. And appropriate that they face a club that's made more appearances in the end of season showpiece than any other. In this, the 127th Irish Cup final, Linfield make their 57th appearance. It's certainly been quite a journey for the Swifts, hasn't it? A cup final debut in this, just their 4th season in senior football. UEFA Cup and Setanta Cup places for next season already guaranteed. How it must have seemed a long way off whenever they lost that first ever game in senior football, 8-0 to Glentoran in the CIS Cup across the city at the Oval 4 years ago. Massive day for Dungannon Swifts and all their followers. Stephen, what will the players of Dungannon Swifts be thinking at this particular stage? Do they want the formalities out of the way, just get into the game?
Getting a feel for the atmosphere, a feel for the day. They want to get a good touch on the ball early on. They don't want to concede a goal in the first 5 minutes, you know. But it's a typical David B. collage here today, and I think Dungannon will cope well. They've got some good experienced players in there. I think it'll be a big day for Rodney McAree, Rory Hamill, people who'll be able to be there, done it, be able to encourage the rest of the players, and I think they'll do well today.
Well, the respective managers have made their selections for the big end of season finale. David Jeffrey, of course, welcomes back Peter Thompson, who's hoping to become the first man since Gary Haylock 12 years ago to score in consecutive finals. Ulster Footballer of the Year William Murphy, he's shaken off a neck injury, and he takes his place at the back alongside Noel Bailey, who makes his 901st Linfield appearance.
Yes, Joel, Linfield have quality all over the team. They've match winners in there. The 2 front men were so good last year. Ferguson hasn't scored for a day or 2, and he's going to need to be watched very closely. You know, you fancy him on a big day like today, where a great atmosphere always comes up with the goods in the big games. So Dungannon are going to need to get a hold of the 2 front men, Ferguson and Thompson, early on.
Well, Dungannon boss Harry Fay, he'll be looking to the cup final pedigree of Rory Hamill, who's collected 3 winners' medals in his career to date. Ryan McCluskey, he's decided to play after a family bereavement earlier this week. You'll notice the Dungannon Swifts players are all wearing black armbands as a mark of respect. And watch out for teenage striker Mark McAllister. He's managed 15 goals this season, Stephen, and I know he's caught your eye as well as the eyes, I'm sure, of all the Irish League managers. He's been a real revelation this season.
You know, we played Dungannon Swifts twice this year. We were fortunate to beat them 2-1 on both occasions. but I think they were the better team in both of those games. McAllister really impressed me when he came to Seaview. His work rate's superb. He's a lovely touch, and if he spins you in the box and gets a side on goal, he will score goals. So he's going to need to be marked very, very closely. But also watch out for Hamill and Scullion. Scullion's beautiful on the left side, comes in nicely, creates play, scores goals.
There is Rory Hamill, and his experience today, of course, will be very important. It was his 31st birthday yesterday, but he is the only member of the Dungannon Swifts squad today to actually play in an Irish Cup final. 901st appearance for the Linfield skipper Noel Bailey. Stephen, you played in that final in 1992. Noel played that day. He's still playing. He just seems to go on forever and ever, but his performances remain so consistent.
Well, you know, he is Mr. Consistency. He's a remarkable player, a great professional. He leads this team by example, and he will get a hold of this game right from the off today. He'll marshal his troops around us. He'll demand big performances from all his players around him, and he's just a credit to the game and a credit to himself.
Well, a real range of ages here to watch this cup final. It could be a historic occasion for Linfield. They're hoping to become the first team to win the double in consecutive seasons since the war. That's the Second World War, I probably should say. When we mention things like that to people like Malcolm Brodie, who have been around football for so long, they usually say, which war? But the last time we had a double in consecutive seasons, that was 1938, when Belfast Celtic managed to win League and Cup in consecutive seasons. If Linfield are to do that, perhaps that man, Peter Thompson, will have a big say in it. Scored 2 goals in the final last year. Can he find a goal today? The referee, well, it's been a bit of a surprise for him. He wasn't meant to be in charge today, Mark Courtney. It's the man with less hair. You can see Adrian McCourt beside him to the right of your screen beside Noel Bailey. He's the 4th official. But Mark Courtney got a late call when the referee, David Malcolm, who was meant to take charge today, declared himself injured. It would have been his 3rd final, but instead it's Mark Courtney's 1st. Certainly at least one joker in the Dungannon pack. They've done well. They've filled almost the bottom tier of that north stand on the far side. And a big day out. Lots of people reading some of the local Dungannon newspapers, Stephen, who are maybe not Dungannon followers, maybe haven't been to a Dungannon Swifts game all season, but they're here to support their local team in cup final day.
It's fantastic for Dungannon and the people of Dungannon. You know, for their team to get to the Irish Cup final, it's a really massive thing. First ever cup final, and to come to Windsor Park, you know, the national stadium, they'll want to give a good account of themselves, and I think they'll have a great day out. They've come out with their banners and their flags and their drums, and they'll make plenty of noise and create a great atmosphere, so we're all looking forward to it.
So it's Dungannon Swifts who will kick off. If they're to win the Irish Cup today, they will have to do something that they haven't managed before, and that is beat Linfield. It's the 17th meeting between the sides. Dungannon yet to beat the Blues. In the previous 16, we've had 4 draws and 12 wins for Linfield. David Jeffrey hoping to complete a tremendous treble this season. The league championship in the bag, hoping for Irish Cup success today. And of course the Setanta Cup final to come here next Saturday. But can Dungannon put a spanner in the Linfield works? Pat McShane playing at left back for Linfield, another player of vast experience. Here's Ferguson trying to get O'Kane away early on. Back to McShane. Early header from McMinn. Thomas Ray able to clear towards McAllister. Right back, Ray able to push it forward once more. We use the word experience an awful lot, Stephen. How important is it on a big day like this? You look at Glenn Ferguson, Pat McShane, William Murphy, they've all been there. They've all done it before.
Well, it means probably a goal advantage to Linfield today, because you know they're going to get on the ball. They've confidence. And if the big players play, you know, settle in quickly, they'll settle the rest of the players all around them, and Linfield will hold that advantage for the first 10 or 15 minutes.
Here's Dixon. What a season he's had since his move from Larne. Thompson trying to get free for the first time. He's done well. Past McMinn, plays it square. It's just ahead of Ferguson. And that's a lucky warning for Dungannon Swifts.
Well, you see Linfield are well settled early on. They're attacking the play, they're getting a hold of it, and they're really running at Dungannon Swifts.
That was O'Kane with the early cross. Should be cleared. Just away from Ryan McCluskey, who couldn't pick up possession. Here's Jim Irvin, full back, shot takes a deflection. Goalkeeper doesn't come for it. And Glenn Ferguson was in there stretching. Jim Irvin, who scored the only goal here last Saturday, Stephen, when your team provided the opposition, likes to get forward.
Yeah, well, you know, we've just looking at Dungannon Swifts here, the left full back, number 22 down there, and Johnny Montgomery, both hesitated on the ball, early nerves, and they need to get on top of that very quickly.
Trying to cause a few problems of their own inside the Linfield half, but it's well defended. McCluskey stepping in, or McMinn rather stepping in and winning it back for the Swifts. McCabe goes down, but referee lets play continue. Again, Ferguson looking towards Linfield's right hand side after that cagey start by the left full back. Here's a chance for Dixon. He's in. Goalkeeper's coming out. Dixon with the great chance, and Mark Dixon, who's been in inspired form in recent weeks, gives Linfield a dream start inside the opening 3 minutes. More hesitation in the left back position for Dungannon, and Linfield, they exploit that. They make Dungannon pay, and it's 20th goal of the season for Mark Dixon.
Oh, what a fantastic finish, Joe. Mark Dixon has been on fire for the past 6 or 7 weeks. He picks this ball up, skips past the goalkeeper and drills it into an empty net. A super finish, and you know, not the start that Dungannon wanted. Hesitation in the back four in the last 2 or 3 plays, and they paid the price.
Mark Dixon, such composure around the goalkeeper, and look at what it meant to him. That is the fastest goal, by the way, you'll not be surprised to hear, in this season's Irish Cup. Glenn Ferguson was the previous holder of that record, along with Gary McCutcheon. But Mark Dixon gives Linfield a dream start. A hat-trick in the semi-final. He was the hero that night. Well, he's a hero again today. And what on earth is Harry Fay thinking? Worst possible start.
Linfield have come out of the blocks, Joel, at a really high tempo. They're first every ball, they're passing it well, they're confident, and this is a dream start for them.
One thing that Mark Dixon will be remembering, he played in a team in an Irish Cup final a couple of years ago. He played for Larne. They took an early lead that day against Portadown. They lost the game. Mark Dixon will be hoping that that doesn't happen on this occasion. I think actually Neil Ogden was the scorer inside a similar period of time, 2 or 3 minutes that year as well.
Well, I can assure you, Joel, he won't be thinking about that right now. He'll only be thinking about his next goal.
The only Linfield player actually to get a hat-trick this season. When you think back to last year, Thompson and Ferguson were scoring hat-tricks all over the place. Dixon's managed 2 this season, 1 against Crusaders. Sorry, Stephen.
I thought you might remind me about that, Joel.
And 1 against Distillery, but he's already bagged 1 here today, and round the goalkeeper, and he kept his cool remarkably well. Thompson finds Dixon once more. Runs out of space, Mark Dixon. There was that early pressure in the Dungannon left back area, Stephen. A couple of times Peter Thompson got in round there, and then Jim Irvin ran through, and JP Gallagher just hasn't really settled. There was a high bouncing ball they didn't deal with in the build up to the goal, and that's where the danger came from, really, on this near side.
Yeah, I think
Paul McAreevy sliding in to win it back as Scullion tries to get Dungannon back into the match.
I'm just not entirely sure of the Dungannon shape at the moment. Number 22 in there, Ryan McCluskey, has found himself sucked into the left back area, and it was his mistake that led to the passage of play to the goal.
Can Dungannon reply swiftly? Not on this occasion. Well, the big day out hasn't started too well. Trying to drum up some support. Quite a few drums in that bottom tier.
It's great to see the big atmosphere, Joel. See this Alex Russell stand packed to capacity and making a big atmosphere, a big noise.
Thompson watching the ball dropping, and he couldn't quite flick it on. Well marshalled by McMinn. Ferguson and O'Kane trying to link up, but that didn't quite happen for Aidan O'Kane. He was the hero here on Monday night when he scored the late goal against Cork City. Easy for Alan Mannus. New goalkeeping strip today for the Linfield goalkeeper. Very bright red jersey and grey flashes. Always seems strange when you see a goalkeeper wearing the same colour as the match officials. Didn't think that was allowed.
I don't think it is allowed. I don't know what's happened there. Maybe the officials have been caught up in their own dressing room, getting their makeup on today.
You love the match officials, don't you?
Yes, I do.
This unbeaten run of Linfield looks as if it's set to continue already here this afternoon, unless Dungannon Swifts can find just a little bit of magic from somewhere to get themselves back into this final.
It's important for Dungannon to get Scullion on the ball. He's the guy that has got the beautiful left foot. He can go past people, goes past people, and pick out lovely balls for the two front runners. So it's important that he gets on the ball.
Dixon. Ferguson couldn't quite reach it. Bailey just had to adjust his footing. He's already lifted one piece of silverware this season, the Linfield skipper. He'll not be thinking about lifting the cup just yet. He's far too much of a professional to take anything for granted, but he'd be hoping that perhaps the second part of that treble could be completed today. Here's McAllister. Does well to keep it. And his pass towards Gallagher was cut out by Dixon, the goal scorer. That struck Hamill's hand. Referee was happy to let play continue. McAreevy getting it forward quickly to Thompson, who has a look and not quite sure if Dixon was the intended target. That hit Dixon's hand, but the referee was on the blind side. He couldn't see that. Good passing from Linfield. Here's McAreevy. Assistant referee's flagging. That's a foul apparently by McAreevy on Adam McMinn.
And one of the things, Joe, that Linfield do well is when they lose possession of the ball, they hunt it down in packs, and typified by Mark Dixon there, coming back and helping his defenders out right down in the edge of their box. As soon as they get possession of the ball, they open the play up and they start playing their passing game, which is beautiful to watch.
Dwayne Nelson, who had absolutely no chance with the goal. Here's Thompson, finds Ferguson. Sliding challenge coming in by Rodney McAree. The assistant is flagging for an offside. That type of service to McAllister isn't really his strength. I think he's maybe more comfortable with the ball on the feet, Stephen.
Yes, he loves the ball under his feet, and he loves to back into you, spin you, turn you, run you. And Dungannon are going to need to do that, because this long ball that went right down Winky Murphy's throat, he'll clean everything up in there today.
Pat McShane will take the throw in for Linfield. Ferguson couldn't get it back to McShane, so McAllister is able to try and turn and run at Bailey, just exactly what Stephen was talking about. And all of a sudden, the break could be on for McCluskey. Jim Irvin wearing the number 2, stopping McCluskey wearing the number 22, and Bailey, the skipper, once again in the right place at the right time.
Just important that Dungannon now start to try and get a little bit of a spell in the game. They need to settle into it. They need to get 10 minutes where they can settle down and pass it and play and try and get into the game.
McAllister does well from the throw. McAllister trying to stretch it, plays it towards Ray. That's well done. That chance could be for Scullion. Will he hit it with his right foot? Danger still not clear. Good cross. Hamill's header. And that's a corner. Better from Dungannon.
Quality play there from young Scullion. Opened his body up lovely, took the guy on. I thought he might have hit it with his left foot, took his more weaker foot and his right foot, but a great strike, great effort.
William Murphy, who got the block in. Hamill with the header wide, but it took a deflection, and it's the first corner of the match. Comes with 2 free Dungannon Swifts players inside the 6-yard box. How did that happen defensively? I think they got in each other's way.
Oh, Big David will be pulling his hair out down there because he doesn't have any, so I don't know what he'll be pulling out, Joe. But
Thomas Ray and McAllister, I think, were free.
Thomas Ray arrives in there unmarked. I actually think they got in each other's way because it was a clean header for Thomas Ray, and he should have really hit the target.
Here's Dixon at the other end trying to feed off some scraps. Well, if this continues for the next 78 minutes, I think we'll be thoroughly entertained.
Well, you know, that's better from Dungannon. You know, this is the cup final. They get 90 minutes of football today to try and win their first major trophy. So let's go for it. And I'm really pleased to see them taking that attitude. They look as if they're trying to get down the flanks. They've got back into the game. Let's hope they can continue to build on it.
Ferguson trying to use that aerial dominance. Here's McAllister trying to side-foot it, and then Ian O'Kane is way off target with the follow-up shot. McAllister applauding the efforts of Ferguson. So dominant in the air, isn't he?
Oh, Glenn Ferguson, you know, he's the ultimate centre forward, isn't he, in Irish League football? He backs into people, he makes it hard for people, and when you give him an inch in front of goal, he'll score you a goal.
Thinks he's going to get a new contract. He's hoping to get another new contract, and be hard to look past him. Brilliant play from McAllister. Took 3 Linfield defenders to eventually take the ball away from him.
You know, one of the things that Linfield have done particularly well this year is they've used Glenn Ferguson sparingly. They've put him in the big games, Joel. He brings that bit of leadership, that bit of quality to the team. And David has that strength and depth that he can do that. He can rest one player and bring another player in, fresh legs.
It's one of the younger generation of Linfield players who needs some treatment. That's Jim Irvin, who you were seeing lying on the ground. It's good covering for, I think, maybe as he slid across and took the ball, McAllister just caught him in the back with his boot. You can just see it there. It's good defending from Jim Irvin. He'll be all right.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a kick in the back. Nothing much to worry about there.
Probably gets loads of those in training from Ferguson and Thompson and Dixon and so on and so forth. It's not that boring, is it? This is a decent game by usual standards in a cup final. You've got an early goal, your team's winning. Can't even smile. What do these young fans want, Stephen?
He's probably been up to the ground 2 hours early, and he's probably hoarse, taking a little bit of a break.
You can understand it if he's not smiling.
Well, yes, it's a big day for Harry. You know, he needs to use all his experience and his inspiration to try and lift the team and what goals behind the cup final. But it's early days yet, Joe. Early days.
Play restarts. Jim Irvin comes back on. Good kicking from Nelson. Here's McAllister. Overhit the pass a little bit. Scullion was trying to get on the end of it. Alan Mannus was alert. He had no O'Kane in space because Scullion had come in off the wide position to try and get on the end of that through ball, but O'Kane hasn't really used the possession. Free kick from Montgomery, finds McAllister. Pat McSheen's trying to hold him off. Good play from McAllister to get the cross in. Good positioning from William Murphy. McAllister felt shirt was being pulled.
Well, you can see from young Mark McAllister that he's got the ability to hold the ball up, and if he can do that and bring people into the game, Dungannon midfield need to support him better. I'd like to see Sean McCabe getting into the game, Rodney McAllister get up there and try and support the front men.
Dungannon again trying to work on opening, patient in their build-up, but they've lost possession this time. Irvine brings it clear. Bailey up to Irvine, finds Thompson. Flag is stayed down. Mannus comes out of his penalty area, anticipated it well. Here's Hamill, goalkeeper off his line. What a finish from Rory Hamill! The flag stayed down, the goalkeeper came out of his penalty area. The header was a poor one, and Rory Hamill took a touch and a magnificent finish over the goalkeeper. It's his 6th goal of the season, his 31st birthday yesterday. What a way to celebrate a cup final goal, and Dungannon are back in the final.
Well, Joel, it's fantastic for the game. Great anticipation from Rory Hamill. Came in from the blindside run and took it out on his chest. First time volley. Brilliant finish.
It's all about composure, isn't it, Stephen?
Oh, yeah. This guy hasn't abundance. He's done it all his career with Glentoran, Coleraine, Ballymena, and he's come onto the big stage today, and he's produced at the highest level.
Well, we told you he was the only member of the Dungannon squad to play in a final. 3 winners' medals to his name. If there was one player that Harry Fay wanted that ball to fall to, it was Rory Hamill, and he didn't disappoint.
Well, it's great for the game because it now makes a game off it, and as I say, we're now seeing a composure coming back into Dungannon in the last 5 or 10 minutes, and they've opened up the play and scored a great goal.
David Jeffrey can't believe what he's just seen. Certainly worth another look. Alan, it was the bounce of the ball. He couldn't really get any power on the header, Stephen, and the defender, I'm sure William Murphy, was sorely tempted to stick his arm in the air, but I don't think that would have been the wise thing to do this early in a cup final. Straight red card and a penalty kick to follow.
I think Linfield were caught a little bit flat and left their goalkeeper exposed a little bit at the back, and he had to come out and try and make the best of a bad situation. But it fell very kindly to Rory.
Here they come again. Scullion taking on McShane. Has to concede the throw in. And if Dungannon were maybe doubting belief, the players were doubting themselves when they went 1-0 down so early, well, that's just been restored, all that belief and confidence.
Well, the good thing is they've scored on something like 17 or 18 minutes, Joel. Good time to reply, gives them confidence in the game. The longer the game would have went on, maybe 1-0 behind, drifting into half-time, they're back in the game, they're happy about that, and now they've got the confidence to take Linfield on.
Dixon's chasing, but he's not going to reach that one. Here's Ferguson. Should be Dwayne Nelson's ball. Plenty to think about. He obviously spots someone he knows. Here's McAllister, again surrounded by blue shirts. That's a late chance. Referee's going to try and play an advantage here. McCluskey has it for Dungannon. Here's Gallagher. Good cross. William Murphy slipped, and he almost put it into his own net. Well, Murphy lost his footing, and the first danger was that there was a Dungannon player who was in acres of space. It was too high for him. He wasn't being picked up. It was Scullion, and then Murphy slipped. For a second I thought he put it into his own net.
Well, a little bit of hesitation in the Linfield back four. Not often you see that. A lot of crosses coming in, cause them a little bit of trouble. But I think Mark McAllister's pace is troubling them. I think Scullion's troubling them, and Linfield are just on their back foot at the moment.
Out comes Mannus, good claim. Too close to him to be fair, the corner kick. Alan Mannus will take those all day.
Yeah.
Ferguson gets the free kick. He's taken plenty of knocks over the years, Glenn Ferguson. He'll be a threat, won't he, from this set-piece situation. Johnny Montgomery will want to keep a close eye on Ferguson. Jim Irvine will take the free kick. Goalkeeper thought about coming. Free header for Aidan O'Kane at the back post. Poor marking again. In terms of cup finals, Stephen, in terms of chances and opportunities, I mean, this has been a real pleasure, I have to say, so far. I mean, so often they're, you know, very cagey and nobody wants to give too much away. But this has been great so far.
Well, the first 10 minutes, Linfield started like a house on fire, and Dungannon couldn't get into the game at all. Then all of a sudden, Dungannon started slowly creeping into it, started putting a few good passes together, get the goal, and now we've got a game on our hands.
It's an offside against Hamill, who certainly was on the wrong side of the line of the Linfield back four. Again, it's aimed towards Ferguson. This time, referee penalises the Linfield striker. See, he doesn't agree. You were a tall target man yourself, Stephen. Were you inclined to think that it's 50-50 in terms of those decisions when it's a high ball towards the striker? Some will go in favour of the defender, some will go in favour of the attacker. I mean, who wins those situations? Or were you, when you were playing, happier if the referee just let the two of you get on with it?
The referee always penalised me, Joel, you should know that. No, it's one of those situations, you know, where it's a timing of the jump, it's a timing of the delivery, and, you know, quite often they go for you. If you're tall, you've got that wee bit of extra height to try and when they flick the ball on.
It just depends if the referee's looking.
I played with good strikers, you know, Glenn Hunter and a young Chris Morgan, and you know.
Was he any good? Was he?
I made Chris Morgan into the player he is today.
Yeah.
He hasn't sent me the check, by the way.
You'll maybe get it after the match.
I'm going to speak to them after the game.
Here's Rory Hamill showing all those aspiring young centre forwards in the crowd how to keep your composure and lob the ball into an empty net when the goalkeeper has had a rush of blood. Although, to be fair to Alan Mannus, he had little choice. I wonder if Linfield will be trying to get a few messages onto the coaching staff to their back four to try and change that sort of back four in terms of being caught so flat, Stephen, with one through ball.
Yeah, well,
we'll not want that to happen again with the pace of Scullion and McAllister on display.
I always felt today that if Dungannon were going to have a chance here, that McAllister would be key to it, because that little bit of pace that he has, it would always trouble like a Winky Murphy and Noel Bailey, who are getting a little bit older in age. So young McAllister, probably only 19 years old or something like that there. Great player, great future.
It's over the head of Hamill. Bailey has lots of time. Interesting to note, the last team to win an Irish Cup final at their first attempt was Carrick Rangers way back in 1976. Gary Prenter, the goal-scoring hero that day. Linfield were the opponents on that occasion. Just wonder if Dungannon are now starting to think that history may be repeated.
Well, maybe the fans, maybe the manager will be looking for all that type of stuff, but I can assure you the players are just completely focused on a game of football, attacking that ball, trying to get to it first, and that's all that's in their minds right now, Joe.
Glenn Ferguson took a bang in the head. He's taking his position now in the penalty area for the resulting free kick. David Jeffrey chewing. McShane's cross towards Ferguson, who wins the header, but he didn't get the direction. It's good defending from Scullion, back helping out. And he gives the ball away. And then he wins it back. Kane thought about coming for that, but it falls for McShane, who then gives it to the midfield player. High cross in comes Ferguson. Goalkeeper punches. Dungannon enough bodies back there. Lifted back in by Mulgrew. Here's Mulgrew again. Ferguson. Here's William Murphy towards Ferguson again. The defender got there. He stumbled on the ball, but he did just about enough. And what about the counter attack from Dungannon? Here's McAllister. Hamill's and acres of space on the far side. Terrible pass from McAllister. I think he wanted Hamill to come short.
Yeah, it's a great open game of football, Joel, isn't it? You know, they're passing it well. It's end to end. It's exciting. It's good for the fans.
They broke away so quickly. I mean, Linfield attacking. Murphy did well to try and feed it in towards Peter Thompson, but once McMinn got the breakaway going, It was a good ball from Ram McCluskey in towards McAllister, and in the end he just picked the wrong pass, or else he picked the right one and didn't execute it correctly, one of the two. Bit of a let off for Linfield. Dungannon had two men over on the far side. Rodney McAree trying the difficult long through ball.
I just think Dungannon have altered their shape a little bit. They're getting the number 22, Ryan McCluskey, back out into a better position, higher up the park, and they're going to a better shape of back four, I think.
Yeah, they've gone 4-4-2 now, with McCluskey basically filling in the left side of midfield and Scullion playing wide right. Here's O'Kane. Cross took a little deflection. Well won in the air by McMinn. William Murphy got to the ball just before McAllister. And McCluskey does well. He was fouled by Irvin. Mark Courtney now wants to speak to Jim Irvin. That's a yellow card for Jim Irvin.
It's a little bit harsh, Joel, I think. Not much in that.
His eyes are on the ball as he's going to try and win it, Stephen. I mean, if that's a yellow card, then
it's never a yellow card.
We're in trouble. And Montgomery's wasted the free kick. I don't think Rory Hamill received the free kick that perhaps he wanted.
I'd like to see someone getting their foot on the ball a little bit more, Joe. It's a wee bit helter-skelter out there, the ball getting kicked on. And
haven't seen a lot of McAreevy.
We haven't seen anything of McAreevy. Haven't seen anything of Sean McCabe.
Irvin trying to clear, takes a deflection, but he should get to the second ball. It's all looking a bit better for Dungannon now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they're keeping the noise levels up there. I think they're having a wee bit of a sing-song with the Linfield men and the Alex Russell stand.
There's a Leeds United shirt as well. It's good to see somebody remaining loyal despite recent tribulations.
I'm sure Big David will be trying to sign a few of their players soon.
You think David Healy would come to Linfield?
Not so sure, Joe.
I think David would need to rob a bank to afford the transfer fee.
Would David Healy get in the Linfield team?
Maybe our viewers could text us with the answer to that one. 81771, by the way, if you want to send your text messages. Always love to hear from you. Anything perhaps in particular you'd like to hear the boys discuss at half-time? 81771, perhaps if you've nothing to do with your thumbs right now. Flick on by McCluskey. That's a mistake by Bailey, uncharacteristic. McAllister tried to make the most of it. He's won the throw-in. He's been busy today, McAllister, already.
Oh, he's really caught the eye. He's working hard up there. He's causing Noel Bailey and Winky Murphy no end of problems.
It's a mistake by Bailey. Don't see that too often. Just poor use of the ball from the throw-in. I just think that sometimes in Irish League football, Stephen, that throw-ins aren't used as effectively as sometimes they could be.
Yeah, I tend to think that part-time football, Tuesday, Thursday night, you haven't got enough time to work on throw-ins and free kicks, and that's something I think in Irish League football is a little bit devoid of ideas.
See that top stand well filled behind the goal that Linfield are defending in this first half. It's not particularly comfortable at the minute. Dungannon tried to get a second goal. Rory Hamill's done well to keep the ball, though he eventually loses it, but Dungannon have it back again. Here's Gallagher. Murphy should clear. Did that hit his hand?
Certainly did hit his hand, but I think it was more hand to ball or ball to hand.
Here's Thompson at the other end. McMinn stretches and puts the ball out. Well, that I think is a let off for Linfield. I mean, It certainly hits his hand. It comes off his own knee, William Murphy, I think. Well, that's a big call for the referee. I've seen those given. It's a controversial moment. Get another look at that one when this attack peters out. It's a foul on Mulgrew.
I think it would have been a very harsh penalty, Joe. You know, Winky's going to clear that. He's completely mishit it, and it's just come up onto his hand. So I don't think that was a handball of any intent.
That's the foul by Irvin again that got him the yellow card. McAreevy is over this free kick. Very good left foot. Taking a little deflection, the defensive header. McAreevy's won the ball again. Here's Dixon. Good defending.
Great defending.
Here's Mulgrew. McAreevy hit the shot. Not the best idea, perhaps.
Now, Johnny Montgomery in there, Joel, you probably aren't seeing it, is having an unbelievable struggle and battle with Glenn Ferguson.
What about this nervy moment for William Murphy? He has the mouth guard in.
Certainly hit us Houghton by a goal, and as it stands at the moment, they'll be out of the relegation places at around 4:50.
Ball bounces for McAreevy. Here's McShane. Hope more than expectation. Thought the goalkeeper maybe could have given Montgomery a shout there, but no harm done. Maybe a better view of that nervous moment for William Murphy. There it is. Well, absolutely nailed on, hit his hand, but the referee obviously felt that there was no intent, and that is why he didn't give the penalty.
He's just going to clear it with his left foot. It's just come right up across his hand, Joel. I don't think there's any intent. It'd be a very harsh penalty.
May have been different if a Dungannon player was about to run through and take the ball from him.
Yeah.
The Ulster Footballer of the Year, William Murphy. He can breathe again.
They just seem to have lost their rhythm a little bit, Linfield, at the moment, Joel. They've gone a little bit ragged. There's no great penetration coming from their play. They're not getting balls forward into the two front men and supporting the play. So, you know, Dungannon seem to have a wee bit more time at the back. They're picking their passes off. And it's just a little bit of a nervy time for them.
Alan Mannus has probably seen just as much of the action in his half of the pitch than Dwayne Nelson at the other end. Well, very suitably dressed for the occasion. Must be a line dancing class afterwards that lady's maybe going to.
Talking of line dances?
Indeed. Must have brought the CD player. Perhaps those Dungannon fans think their team's maybe got the beating of Linfield today.
Give us a beat of your drum.
What's interesting, the only previous meeting between the sides at Windsor Park in the Irish Cup ended in a draw. That was when Dungannon Swifts were still playing junior football. It's funny, Noel Bailey and Johnny Montgomery have both played in all 4 of the Irish Cup meetings now between the teams. It's not surprising when you think of Noel Bailey, but Johnny Montgomery, he's been around a long time as well. In his 30s, he's been a tremendous servant.
Yeah, he kicked me many times in my career. I have to say to you, I took great pleasure in kicking him back.
There's the cheerleaders, Dungannon Swifts, doing their best. Here's Jim Irvin. It's loose from him. McAree finds Rory Hamill. It's over Scullion's head. McShane has a bit of time. art director today. He frequents bookmaking shops, and telling me saw odds at one stage 7 or 8 to 1 for Dungannon at one stage this morning, which very, very generous odds when you consider they've got a couple of league draws here in recent seasons and games that they probably could have won.
Well, you know, cup finals are sometimes anybody's game. Go any way over 90 minutes. So that's very generous odds.
Here's Ferguson trying to create something out of nothing. Gets the shot in. Oh, the goalkeeper's been unable to keep it out, but Ferguson makes a goal from absolutely nothing. He hasn't scored since the replay against Ballymena in the quarter-finals, but the big man comes up with a big goal on the big occasion. Glenn Ferguson, you just can't keep him quiet.
We talked about it before the start of the match, didn't we, Joel? He hasn't scored, I think, in 10 games. He comes up, big stage, big game, big man, and picks a goal out of nothing here.
Defender lost him. He gets the shot, and the goalkeeper, he almost went with it, but with the wrong hand, Stephen.
I think the goalkeeper will be very disappointed when he watches this back. I think he's misread the flight of the ball. It wasn't particularly well hit, and I think he'll be very disappointed.
See Dwayne Nelson, he goes with his right hand, his top hand, but Glenn Ferguson, he doesn't particularly care. Playing in his 7th Irish Cup final, Glenn Ferguson comes up with a goal that might just give Linfield a lead going into the half-time interval.
I think, Joel, the high standard of goalkeeping you play at, you might have got to that one.
Took you a little bit longer to mention that than I was hoping, Stephen, but I'll forgive you. So Dungannon have to find their way back into the match again. Gallagher will take the free kick. William Murphy wins a towering header. Mark Courtney is given the free kick against Mark Dixon.
Well, it's set up nice now for Rodney McAree, free kick specialist, great striker of the ball. Maybe a little bit too far out for him this distance.
Dwayne Nelson will be very disappointed, not only to concede the goal, but I think he'll be disappointed with what he watched in front of him from Montgomery to allow Ferguson to
didn't he? He seemed to stumble when got his coordination wrong, I think.
Glenn Ferguson scored in the 1991 final. 16 years later, he's on target again. Here's McAree trying to do exactly the same. Oh, dreadful mistake by Alan Mannus at his near post, and Rodney McAree equalises within minutes. The free kick, Mannus was going down. It looked a comfortable save to make, but he was deceived by the bounce of the ball, and Dungannon Swifts are level once again, and their fans can't believe it. Harry Fay is back out again. He'll be telling his players to tighten things up to get in level at half-time. The skipper comes up with the free kick. Mannus, well, he should have saved it, Stephen. That's unbelievable from the goalkeeper of his standards. He's made a mistake, and Dungannon have benefited. It's 2-2.
You know, I don't think Rodney has really caught that particularly well. It's taken a slight deflection, I think. But honestly, Big Alan will have nightmares about that one tonight because it was such an easy save for him.
The man who delayed knee surgery to see out this cup run, to play in the final, the skipper, well, he's weighed in with a very important goal, but the goalkeeper, Alan Mannus, will be bitterly disappointed with his part in that second Dungannon Swifts goal.
The two goalkeepers will be disappointed with the 2 goals, but hey, it makes great viewing, doesn't it? I'm sure everybody's enjoying this at home. We're certainly enjoying it here today, and the crowd are enjoying it. Maybe not if you're Harry Fay and David Jeffrey.
It's been a manager's nightmare. McCluskey wants the ball played in his direction. It goes towards McAllister instead over on the far side. We spoke about the Linfield clean sheets before the match, didn't we? 28 of them, Jackie was mentioning in studio. Well, Dungannon Swifts have managed to force their way through that Linfield rear guard now on 2 occasions, and you have to say Linfield have looked far from comfortable defensively here in this Irish Cup final in the first half, and David Jeffrey, I think, will have something to say to his back five, goalkeeper and defenders, at half-time.
I think Harry Fay's come here with a game plan today. I think he's thought to himself, I'll stick it in, you know, with a five-man midfield, one up front, McAllister. They went a goal behind very early on, and I think they've had to say to themselves, we just need to go for this. And that's making it the cup final. It is, because they've gone to a 4-4-2. They're now just say, let's take Linfield on, and it's making for a great game of football.
Here's Thompson. Been very quiet so far, Peter Thompson, coming back from injury, of course, for the final today. He's missed the last few Linfield games with that foot injury. McCabe's lost the ball to Mulgrew. Here's Thompson. Great tackle. Does well. Here's Gallagher. McGrew was caught late after he played the ball forward, so play is brought back for the Linfield free kick. Great tackle off from Montgomery, wasn't it?
Oh, tremendous tackle. Kept his eye on the ball. Brilliant.
Montgomery again.
I have to say that Johnny Montgomery has been very impressive in the first 35-40 minutes of this football match. He's marked very tightly. He's anything that's coming in there, he's clearing the danger.
Thompson was just waiting for that ball to fall the wrong side of McMinn, but I think centre half did well. Here's Dixon, scorer of the first goal. Started us all off after 3 minutes. Thompson trying to turn. Here's Hamill, who scored Dungannon's first. The break could be on here again for the Swifts. That's going to be another free kick. Is that Jim Irvin again? It's already been booked, Jim Irvin. Needs to be careful. It was for a similar challenge that he was booked earlier in the first half. No, it wasn't. It was Mulgrew actually that made the challenge. Irvin was just a bystander.
Dungannon have really found their feet in this game, Joel. In the last 20 minutes, they're bossing the game. They're passing it better than Linfield. They're first to every ball. Few tired legs out there from Linfield.
Here's Dixon. Poor challenge by Ryan McCluskey. I think he knew it. David Jeffrey's out. He wants to know why McCluskey wasn't booked and Irvin was.
He's got a bit of a fair point there.
Adrian McCourt, the fourth official, having to usher David Jeffrey back into his technical area. Are we going to get a fifth goal at the end of the first half? Irvin delivers the free cup. Ferguson wins the header. That's easy for the goalkeeper.
You know, 3 minutes coming up at the end of the first half. I think Harry Fay will be the happier of the two managers here with the first half. 2-2. Team has come from behind on both occasions. He'll be very pleased.
So with 3 minutes of stoppage time to play, it's 2-2, as it was in that quarter-final match that was played here between the two sides. Glenn Ferguson scored an equaliser that day. He's been on the score sheet again, Glenn Ferguson. He put Linfield 2-1 in front, but the lead didn't last too long. Rodney McAree's free kick, a goalkeeping error by Alan Mannus, and Dungannon Swifts were back level within a couple of minutes.
You know, you were saying earlier on, Joel, that we haven't seen much of Peter Thompson in the game, and that's really because he's been snuffed out by young Adam McMill and Johnny Montgomery.
Yes. O'Kane drifting in off that left side. He's playing in an inside right position now. He's continued his run. Dixon tried to find him. Can't find him, can't find Thompson. McMinn comes across. Keeps an eye on Thompson once again. Here's Irvin. Good block by McCluskey. McGrew's cross, out comes the goalkeeper, good catch, particularly at this time of the match. The referee's telling everybody to get out of the way. It's Paul McAllister who's gone down. Just caught by the goalkeeper as he came to catch the cross. Accidental collision. McAllister will need treatment. Will be stoppage time added in stoppage time. Nice to see shaking of hands between Nelson and McAllister. McAllister must have fouled the goalkeeper as he came in. The men that are responsible for the photographs you'll see in your back pages tomorrow, they do a sterling job. It's nice to see them getting some sunshine today for all those wet and windy days they have to endure during the winter months.
It's interesting to see a number of them at the Linfield end looking for Dungannon goals. That says a little bit about the probably the possession of the first half.
JP Gallagher in charge of this situation. Dixon trying to use his strength, trying to win the corner. Ball didn't go out. Dungannon clear. Here's Hamill. It's a wrong choice maybe from Hamill. McAllister felt he was obstructed. I think that's what you call experienced defending by William Murphy.
Very experienced defending.
Well, that's the last action of the first half, and what a dramatic first half. 4 goals in 45 minutes. Alan Mannus will have nightmares about the 4th goal. That was Dungannon's equaliser, their second equaliser. Glenn Ferguson had put Linfield 2-1 in front. Rodney McAree then hit the free kick, which Alan Mannus couldn't deal with. He should have kept it out. We had a dramatic opening to the match. Harry Fay must have been fearing the worst when his team fell behind inside the opening 3 minutes. But they've equalised twice in this match. Mark Dixon putting Linfield ahead. And then the equaliser came, the first equaliser from Rory Hamill. There's Rodney McAree who got the second equaliser with a free kick. But very, very difficult to know what way this game's going to go. Dungannon Swifts have played their part. Any early nerves were certainly settled by the 2 equalisers. It's been brilliant stuff. Plenty for the boys to discuss at half-time. Half-time score, it's Linfield 2, Dungannon Swifts 2.
Thank you very much indeed to Stephen and Joel. Yes, 2-2. It's a cracking cup final. Hope you're enjoying this at home. I know we certainly are in the studio. Linfield supporter, he'll maybe not be so happy. Twice they've been leading. We can hear from the Linfield assistant manager, Brian McLaughlin. He's with Thomas.
Brian, it's very rare you see Linfield give away a goal lead 2 times.
We do, yeah. No, it's not very often, especially at home. We give away goals. We give away 2 bad goals. I think the first one, Alan was far too far to his goals, and fair play to already put it away well. But from our point of view, it was really a bad goal. The second one was even worse. I mean, the free kick must have been 35 yards out, and it bounced before Almond then. So we're disappointed in the manner we give away the goals.
From the Linfield perspective, what needs to change in the second half?
I think 4 or 5 of our players need to start. Some of the midfielders haven't started. Some of the front players haven't started. We need to give ourselves a shake. Fair play to Dungannon. They've done really well. They've passed the ball well. They've penetrated. But we haven't played at the level we need to perform to win the game today.
Thanks very much, Brian.
Thoughts there of Linfield assistant manager Brian McLaughlin. Marty and Chris are with me, and Chris, an honest assessment there. He said some of them haven't started.
Yeah, I think he's probably right. You know, certainly when Linfield scored early on, maybe they just thought that's enough for us. You know, Dungannon will maybe fold. I'm not sure. It was strange because it's not really, you know, typically Linfield to do that. And Dungannon came back into it and obviously equalised, and from then looked the better side and passed it and gave away a stupid goal when they were the better side, and you know, again got themselves into it. It's very on Linfield like.
It certainly is. And Marty, the underdogs from the country, they're doing well.
Yeah, Jackie, I thought when they conceded an early goal it might have been very hard for them to lift their heads, but fortunately they got back into the game again quite quickly, and I feel it was a very bad goal from Linfield's point of view. The first goal, I mean, it was bad defended basically.
Yeah.
The lad Ryan McCluskey showed a lot of bravery and going for the ball. I think maybe if it had been Chris, he might have maybe just left that one to someone else, but obviously his GAA experience came in. He's played in a lot of big games. He's a tough lad. He put a challenge up to Alan Mannus, and Alan didn't deal with the header very well. And a great finish from Rory. You know, Rory's a top man in my opinion, and this is just made for a Rory Hamill. Very well complemented by Mark McAllister up front. I think the two of them are working tirelessly and causing Linfield a lot of problems. He just turned 19 last week, but I must say he'd be one of my favourite players. Keep an eye on that name. But let's go through some of the highlights, boys, of the first half. An early stunner, 3 minutes, and Linfield were 1 up.
Obviously Dungannon have made but the mistake came from Gallagher there. He went to clear it and he's knocked it up in the air. And what surprised me was that Jamie Mulgrew came through and won the ball in the air, and Dixon, you can see that he's playing wide right, but his natural position, he's a centre forward, and he's taken it very well, you know. And I thought from there Linfield would have went on, but it hasn't happened.
He kept us cool, and what a great moment for Mark Dixon, who signed Marty to win things, and here he is.
Yeah, very much an unsung hero for Linfield this season, Jackie. I actually thought that the lad would have been warming the bench most of the season, and it was looking that way early days when he came from Lauren. But he scored a lot of vitally important goals for Linfield, and this one highlights it today. He's an excellent player, very, very much unsung, very unassuming lad. Yeah. Just gets on with, doesn't have much to say. I would always have a player like that in the team.
Yeah, he's one of the quiet lads.
Back.
Yeah. Are you inferring that Chris would talk?
No, not at all, not at all.
Right, Dungannon, people thought, oh well, here we go. But Dungannon, they galvanised themselves, and then twice they almost scored, Chris.
Yeah, this one here, Scullion's lovely dummy where he's come inside Pat McShane, and from the resultant cross, Rory's got across his man. He's unlucky, and again, even from here, it was a free header for Thomas Ray there, and I think maybe his own player maybe got in his way, and had he not, he looked like he had a free header from 6 yards and probably would have scored.
But a few minutes later, they did get a goal, and a brilliant goal it was from Rory Hamill. Marty.
Yes, it was basically it was a nothing ball through the middle. As I say, the Linfield defenders and the goalkeeper got themselves in a tangle, and Hamill certainly capitalised on it and did very well to score an excellent goal and put Dungannon right back into the game again and give them the confidence to go on and play as well as they have been playing up to now.
But you could see, Chris, that Rory, he saw that immediately.
Yeah, and Rory's got the technique to finish that. You know, he's a very technically good footballer, and when the opportunity came, he's taken his chest, and he's still got quite a lot to do there, because if he doesn't connect with the ball cleanly, he's not going to score. But he's caught it really nicely, and you know, I'm pleased for Rory. He's had a bit of a difficult season, but he's looked lively today, and him and McAllister are definitely causing Linfield a lot of problems.
And he's trying to win the cup, Rory, with a third different club. Who was it? Coleraine and Glentoran. He's won it with already. What about the handball? Because that was them lifted, wasn't it? And then William Murphy handled, but I think it might have been a bit harsh, Marty, had the penalty been given.
Well, as an old centre half, I would be I think it would be very hard done by if it had been given. I don't think Winky deliberately handled the ball. It more or less come onto his hand, and I think it would have been a very harsh decision if it had been given against him.
Yeah, and he didn't really stop the ball going through either. There was no one in the white shirt there.
No, it wasn't going to cause Linfield any problems if it had went on through.
But then Linfield took the lead, and who else but the grand old man himself, Glenn Ferguson.
Yeah. Spike's great at getting across defenders there. He's nicked in. It's not his greatest strike, but you know, you hit the target and you work the keeper. He's going to be disappointed that he hasn't kept it out, but you know, Spike's there to score goals. In the record books, it doesn't tell you how good a goal it was, you know. So
he's gone with the wrong hand there, the keeper.
I think he has, yeah.
It's easy sitting up here, of course, but Marty, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, well, I've had Dwayne Coleraine, actually. He's an excellent young goalkeeper, but I think he got it wrong. His feet didn't move as quickly as he would like. He threw the wrong hand at it. He certainly should have dealt with his left hand. A strong left hand out there would have put that one for a by ball or certainly out of the action.
But Mr. Ferguson, or Spike as they call him, he knows where the net is. But then a couple of minutes later, another lift, and the goalkeeper at the other end might not be too happy, Chris.
Yeah, surprising again. You know, I've played with Alan Mannus and I know that he's a fantastic goalkeeper, and the professional that he is, he'll be very, very disappointed with that. I was surprised, and I think, you know, a lot of people were surprised that it's gone through. But for Dungannon, I mean, that's really lifted them again. You know, it'll all depend what way the teams come out, obviously, in the second half, but they'll be more than happy that they're going in level, having been trailing on 2 occasions.
Yeah, and to be fair to Al, he may not have seen that until very late. But what will Mr. Jeffrey be saying when he stops throwing the cups and the saucers and the plates in the dressing room?
He might surprise the players by not having that approach. Sometimes, you know, I remember from playing under him that you'd been going in and you'd been a bit fearful of what he was going to say, and he maybe would have taken a slightly different approach. But so he might try and just look at areas that they need to improve on. I think the midfield battle, Dungannon have certainly have won it so far. But it's 45 minutes, and you know, Dungannon know that they've got to continue to play as well as they have done, because if they don't, Linfield will, you know, certainly you would think perform a lot better than they have so far.
Yeah. Well, talking about Dungannon, one of the men who's been a real stalwart at the club, he's the former manager. He's been there for, donkey years, about 30, 40 years. He'll be very pleased with this scoreline and this performance. He's with Thomas. He's Joe McAree.
Joe, Jackie says you've been at Dungannon for donkey's years. Having waited so long to get to the cup final, what was going through your head after a couple of minutes when you went 1-0 down?
Well, donkey's years is right, 35 to be correct. What was going through my head? Well, I've heard a lot of talk from the semi-final that there would be no nerves in the final, and that just wasn't true. For we looked a bag of nerves, and to give a goal away after 2 minutes, it's just a real kick in the teeth. But we have responded really, really well, and we have bounced back, and I think for a half an hour we have been the best side. I think we have played the better football. We have got back into the match, and then suddenly we turn around and we concede another bad goal.
How different is it watching the game from the stands rather than the touchline?
It's a disaster. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I hate it, and for the first half of the season I really didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know what to do on a Saturday at the match. I didn't know who to sit with, who to talk to, or what to do. But I'm getting used to it a bit now. I'm in the middle of the north stand, right at the halfway line, along with the wife in the back row, and the crack's good over there, so I'm enjoying it at a bit of a run round. So really what TV has done for me today, it has kept me from seeing my son score in an Irish Cup.
In a word, can you win it?
Certainly we can win it. We have a man on the bench. I'm looking at him now, warming up, and that's Everaldo. And I believe if we bring him on and go with 2 wide players, we can win the match.
Thanks very much, Joe.
Joe, and we hope he arrives back in the grandstand to see the second half. And Joe, we'll get you a copy of your son's goal. Don't worry about that. We'll get you a DVD, I'm sure. Marty, as a manager yourself, we were talking about what Harry Fay would be saying before the game. He's bound to be pleased, surely.
Yeah, very much so. Just come back to Joe McAree, what an influence he has been to Dungannon Swifts over the years, and how unlucky he is. Dungannon, he just relinquished the manager's post at the start of the season to move upstairs, as they call it.
One of the great men of football, isn't he?
Absolutely fantastic lad. Harry's so lucky to come in and inherit a good team, and now he's in an Irish Cup final today, and good luck to him. Harry will be in there today. I'll be saying, lads, listen, we've come back from the dead twice. Let's be more positive. Let's go out. I mean, should we be overawed by the Linfield performance up to now? I think the answer to that is no. Come back to what Chris is, we were talking about the Linfield change around at the moment. I would like to be a fly on the wall in there at this moment in time, to be quite honest with you, because I think you need to be very, very sharp and very, very quick. David has a tired team out there at the moment. I just feel that some of the Linfield players haven't risen today.
We'll talk about that in a moment, because we can get the view from the touchline now. Billy Hamilton is with Thomas.
Billy, we spoke about nerves before the game. Early on, Dungannon looked nervous, but they've settled very well. How would you assess the first half overall?
Well, I'll tell you what, after the first couple of minutes I feared for Dungannon, conceding that early goal, but fair play to them. They fought their way back into the game and got a richly deserved equaliser. And then Linfield got what I thought was a soft goal, but they didn't lie down. Dungannon came straight back and equalised. I tell you what, there's a flicker of an upset on the horizon here, but it's whether Linfield can snuff that flicker out.
How important was it for Dungannon scoring the free kick just after Glenn Ferguson had put Linfield 2-1 up?
I think it's very important. The longer it goes on, if they had got to half time, it gets Linfield into the dressing room in a good frame of mind. But they got the equaliser. Now they're in the dressing room in a good frame of mind, and it's a very even game that could go either way.
How do you see the second half going? Put your neck on the line.
Put my neck on the line. I think it's going to be very entertaining. I think both teams have got the measure of each other, and I'm still up for Linfield.
He's sticking with prediction before the game. Back to you, Jackie.
Who else would he stick up for? Didn't he used to play for Linfield? Won an Irish Cup final 1978, before Marty was born and I was only a boy. But Marty, you were talking there before we went to hear from Billy about a tired Linfield team. It's their 56th game of the season, Chris, and I thought they were a bit jaded looking as well.
Possibly, and perhaps, you know, it's a very warm day out there. Maybe that's having a little bit of an effect. And I know Dungannon probably have had an easier run towards the final in terms of they can leave a few guys out and rest a bit. Linfield have had big games continually, so perhaps a wee bit of tired legs in their part.
So the players are on the way out, and just a quick word, Marty. Billy Hamilton thinks that Linfield will come through in the end. I suppose a lot of people might be of the same notion. What do you think?
Well, obviously that's Billy's allegiance to Linfield. I mean, I personally, I can't call this one at the moment, Jackie. I had Linfield as winners prior to kick-off. I had them winners at 1-0. I had winners at 2-1. Dungannon have shown great character and great resolve to win this game, and I won't be surprised if Dungannon win it or the game goes into extra time and penalty kicks at this moment in time.
All right, Chris, in a word?
Yeah, exactly what Marty said. I mean, it's before the game you would have thought Linfield, and when they went ahead the two times you would have thought Linfield, but Dungannon have really shown that they are capable, and you know, who knows at this stage.
That was 46 words, by the way. Okay, let's go back to the commentary box. There they are. Joel looks better than I thought. He's with Stephen. Back to you, Joel.
I've been using your makeup, Jack, when you weren't watching. There's Harry Fay. He must be delighted, Stephen, to be still level. I mean, he must have been thinking after 3 minutes, this is an absolute nightmare. But to be level at half-time, this is I mean, Marty has said this one's still in the balance. I think he's spot on. This could go either way.
You know, well, you've just watched the last 30 minutes of the game has really been completely Dungannon. So I think they just have come today to say, Joel, we're going to come here, we're going to give it our best shot over 90 minutes and try and win the cup. So fair play to them.
Mark Courtney's going to produce a yellow card inside the opening 10 seconds of the second half. And yet again, I mean, the ball was pushed a little bit ahead of the player, and both players going for a 50-50 ball. I mean, I think that's harsh.
Well, maybe get a chance to see it in the monitor again, Joe, but it looked a little bit harsh from where we are.
Second booking of the match so far. Here it comes. McAree, just a little heavy touch there, but he's stretching for the ball. And so early in the second half. Will we get an early goal, perhaps? Shot from distance is miss-hit.
Sometimes you get two very soft bookings, you know, and what worries me sometimes, you get a really bad tackle.
Paul McAree now walking the tightrope between now and the end of the match, which could come after 90 minutes, it could come after 120 minutes, or it could come at the end of a penalty shootout. And given Linfield's penalty record, you'd have to fancy Dungannon.
Well,
having won a semi-final in penalties.
A little bit far up the line, Joel. I think there'll be a lot more football played in the next 45 minutes before we get to that stage.
Could be the first ever Irish Cup final to be decided on penalty kicks, should that happen. Gone are the days of Irish Cup final replays. Here's Hamill, already on the score sheet today. McCluskey looking for support. Here comes Ferguson, using that upper body strength of his, players bouncing off him. Thomas Ray did well to get back. Everybody running in the wrong direction. The flag stays down. David Jeffrey wants to know why the flag didn't go up, but nobody was really going to take advantage of that, and Alan Mannus had the ball, so I can't understand what the panic's all about. Oh, it's a lovely ball play through to Dixon, and this touch on this occasion lets him down.
I think he was just stretching a little bit for it, but it was beautiful play, lovely link play, and a beautiful ball in from McAllister.
Really taken to that position really well, Mark Dixon. That's a good ball in, but Murphy comes across. He knows the runs to make, Stephen, of course, does Mark Dixon, because he was a centre forward, but he plays the defensive side of that right-hand side midfield position very, very well.
What impresses me is he tracks back and helps out his fullback. But as you say, when the play's developing, he loves to make that inside run like a centre forward, and that's where he got his goal from, and he looked very dangerous on that occasion as well.
A little bit of pushing. The referee indicates. Glenn Ferguson can't believe it.
Yet again, Johnny Montgomery, number 4 for Dungannon, has decided he's going to harry Glenn Ferguson into every tackle, every set play. He's all over him like a rash, and that's making it difficult for Linfield to tick.
Ian O'Kane winning the header. McMinn shadowing Thompson, as he did so well in the first half. It's interesting, Stephen, that after the first half, maybe generally you'd say about Linfield lifting the tempo. I wonder, can they lift the tempo after so many games? Here's Mulgrew, scored 2 against Dungannon at Stangmore Park, and the goalkeeper took a wicked bounce just in front of him. He did well in the end to keep it out.
That was good play from Jamie Mulgrew. He's a nice technical footballer, and he opened up the space well, got a great shot away on goal.
Scored those 2 goals against Dungannon Swifts. He hasn't scored since. That was in February. Linfield won the league game 5-1 after Mark McAllister had given Dungannon Swifts the lead. Here is McAllister. Well, he's played for the free kick, and he gets the free kick.
Yeah, deservedly so. He showed the full back down the line, took him on, beat him for skill.
Pat McShane, the man who concedes the free kick. Rodney McAree with the number 8 on his back. Looks like the man who will take it. Poor Joe McAree missing Rodney's goal.
I'm sure he can see it in the BBC a few times.
Yes, Jackie has promised to send him a DVD. Jackie promised personally, so if it doesn't arrive, it's his fault. Gallagher takes it in, swinger. Oh, free header again at the back post. This should be the goalkeepers. Alan Mannus coming with those long arms of his. Early clearance, but it's not really in the direction of Thompson, who's trying to apply some pressure, but McCluskey is able to put it out, and Linfield will have the throw. Here's Dixon. It's well controlled by Irvin. He's put a little bit too much on the cross. Dwayne Nelson doesn't really have to do too much, apart from get the ball back from the ball boy. Hasn't been a day for goalkeepers so far, Stephen.
No, I think
one mistake apiece. Fair enough.
I think the pitch might be a little bit bumpy out there. You know, although it looks beautiful from where we're sat, you know, it's probably a little bit bumpy, a little bit hard.
Certainly looked as if the bounce of the ball deceived Alan Mannus in particular for Rodney McAree's goal.
Yeah, well, you know, Jimmy Mulgrew, when he shot from outside the box, it bounced up Joel off the deck, and Dwayne Nelson took it round head height.
Well, perhaps we will see another goalkeeping error, goalkeeper embarrassed by the bounce of the ball. Linfield have a free kick in a position very similar to where McAree actually scored from.
Yeah, it's a little bit further out, Joel. It's probably an extra
5 yards.
5 yards out there. That's a big strike here.
Glenn Ferguson fancies it. Easily blocked on the edge of the wall. The edge of the box, I should say. McAllister's first touch just gave McShane the opportunity to clear.
Just seems to be a bit of a spring in the Dungannon step today. They just seem to be first every ball here in the first 5 or 10 minutes.
Here's Bailey. Can the skipper inspire Linfield? Thompson with the flick. Montgomery will give it back to his goalkeeper. It's not a great back pass, that. Well done, the goalkeeper, who obviously plays in the 5-a-side, Stephen.
Yeah, I don't like my goalkeepers doing that.
Only when they get it right. Here's Hamill. Has support from McCluskey. McAllister was looking for it in defeat, but Bailey read that pass. Here's Gallagher. Ball can come right from McCabe if he wants to. He does. He finds Ray. Poor pass from the fullback. Pat McShane was able to intervene. And then McMinn just plays it long, and that's easy for Alan Mannus.
McMinn and Montgomery at the back, they just seem to be reading the situation better. They're coming, they're taking every ball that's coming up there. They're first to it, they're a yard quicker to the ball, and they're blunting everything that Linfield are throwing at them.
If you're just tuning in, all 4 goals coming in the first half. Dungannon Swifts have showed great character in this final. Twice they've been behind, twice they've levelled. Great display from Johnny Montgomery's team in this, their first ever Irish Cup final. Here's Dixon. Pat McShane hasn't scored this season. Be a nice time to open his account. Still going. Here's Thompson. Who can he find? Across the face of goal. Oh, and Ferguson sliding in. You'd have put the mortgage in Glenn Ferguson there. Great play from Thompson.
Johnny Montgomery is down there absolutely roasting young David Scullion for not picking up.
Thompson getting to the byline, he just put it across the 6-yard box. It was an invitation for Ferguson. He'll be disappointed not to have scored there.
I think it might have just bounced up on him in the last minute there.
Well, that's what he'll say.
Yeah, I would say that, being a fellow striker. But he might be disappointed he missed. But it was good play there by Pat McShane. Really ran at the heart of the defence. Opened the play up for Peter Thompson to get a good ball into the box.
Flank stays down, this time Scullion running through. Mannus comes out of his area, this time with more success than his effort in the first half to head the ball away. This time right-footed, he puts it to safety. Here's McCluskey. McAree can't find Scullion, gets a second attempt. Mark Dixon back defending in the edge of his own 18-yard box. Peter Thompson was pushed, I think, into Shane McCabe.
It's not often at Windsor Park you see a Linfield team being outplayed. Dungannon are setting the tempo, they're first to the ball, they're picking their passes off. Linfield really need to, maybe you can get some fresh legs on there and start bringing a bit of impetus into the game.
Important to remember, this is a Dungannon team without a win in the 7 matches that they've played since they beat Cliftonville in the semi-final.
Yeah, well, maybe they've used the time wisely. Linfield have had a lot of games, and I think you're seeing a little bit of spring in their step.
Here's Thompson. That last touch came off Peter Thompson. I think that should have been a Dungannon throw-in. Pat McShane. Ferguson wins the header. Out comes the goalkeeper. He's fisted it away. Here's Mulgrew. Drills it in low. Enough players back. And Johnny Montgomery, after clearing, asked Dwayne Nelson, what on earth were you doing? Here's Irvin. Maybe encouraged by that goalkeeping indecision. Chance for Dixon. Plays it in. A little bit too high on the cross from Dixon.
Yeah, I'm sure Mark Dixon will be disappointed there. We'll have a look at it again on the replay here.
He's got a little bit too much loft in the cross, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a shot or a cross or what it was, but
it's too high for Glenn Ferguson, whatever it was. Here's the punch, Stephen.
Yeah.
Jamie Mulgrew maybe not just having the presence of mind to try and get a little bit of loft in the ball when it came to him.
Yeah, some nerves from our goalkeepers today.
Jim Irvin clearing, former Linfield ball boy. Came back from Nottingham Forest and signed for Linfield, played in last year's final, won a an Irish Cup medal, won all the major medals in his first season at Linfield. He's been in and out of the team this season, Jim Irvine, competing with Stephen Douglas rather, for the right back position. McAllister trying to pull it back, but he couldn't quite keep it in play.
It'll be interesting to see if Dungannon can keep this high tempo up for the whole 90 minutes. A hot day out there, Joel. People's going to start their energy levels getting drained a little bit, and that's maybe when Linfield can get some fresh legs on there and bring a bit more impetus into the game.
Great from McMinn. Montgomery should tidy up. Free kick this time for Dungannon Swifts. Perhaps they're starting to get a little bit concerned now, the Linfield fans. Dungannon with one reply was okay, but to see them reply twice, maybe they're starting to wonder if this League and Cup double is going to prove rather more difficult than they hoped. Again, certainly well worth their level scoreline at the minute.
Yeah, well, what it does, it gives Dungannon a lot of confidence knowing they can come back twice into Windsor Park, the home of Linfield, and they're well in the game, and so they'll not have any, as far as they're concerned now, it's 11 v 11, let's try and win the cup.
Here's McAllister, finds Rory Hamill. Shane McCabe busily working in that midfield area, finds McAree. Flag instead down. Wonder if Squillian had received the pass into Flag would have gone up, but now the ball's gone out of play. There's a Dungannon player down injured. David Jeffrey is going bananas.
I think David's a little bit cross about that because Dungannon had plenty of opportunity to put the ball out of play. They didn't do it. They tried to work an opening. As soon as Linfield get it back, Alan puts it out of play. So David's absolutely livid down there.
You wonder about this, don't you? I mean, you see it on television now in the Premiership, and they have implemented this ruling when it's up to the referee. It's down to his discretion to stop the play. Is that something as a manager you would prefer, taking the onus off the players as to whether they should put the ball out or not?
Definitely. I think this rule is just going to, you know, this sportsmanship, if you want to call it that, it's just gone a little bit too far for me nowadays, you know, and sometimes a little bit of an unfair advantage, and you should just continue to play on, let the referee make the decision. He's the man in charge, and let's all get on with it.
Certainly a day for the sunglasses. It's been a lovely week of weather.
It was certainly beautiful at Portrush yesterday, Joel, when I was smacking the little golf ball around.
Probably losing the golf ball at Portrush. A few of the substitutes getting prepared. Wonder if we'll get to see Everaldo. That's who Joe McAree wanted. Well, he's obviously not too concerned. Maybe didn't think the game was up to much. There is Everaldo. If he comes on, it'll be his last game for Dungannon Swifts. He's moving back home to Brazil, having a bit of a farewell party for him on Friday. Wouldn't it be lovely if the Irish Cup was on the guest list? That looked like a push on Thompson. Referee says no. Don't think he's particularly impressed. I think you'd say it was a push in the back by McMinn.
It looked a push, Joel, it looked a push.
Then again, if the referee doesn't see it, you call that good defending. David Jeffrey maybe thinking of making a change or two. All the substitutes appear to be warming up. Nobody sitting behind him. Don't think he'd be wanting to bring Gary Eccles on, the kit manager.
Well, there's probably more chance of you coming on, Joel, and
it's well cut out by Jim Irvine. I just think his positional play is very good, the right back for Linfield.
Yeah, he's a well-balanced footballer. He moves well, passes well.
That's surely a free kick this time for the push. He got away with the first one, McMinn. On this occasion, the referee gives Thompson the free kick. Still too far out for a shot, I think. It wasn't exactly subtle, was it?
Well, he's got away with it a couple of times, and I think that's exactly what Dungannon have tried to do today. They've asked their two centre-halves to out-muscle and out-fight, out-compete the two Linfield forwards, and that's what they've done.
McAreevy's ball in. Where's this going to drop? Well, drops kindly for Dungannon. Here's Hamill. Holds on to the ball. McGrew doesn't allow him to play it out comfortably. A few of the celebrity Dungannon Swifts fans were hoping to tune in and watch the game on television today. Dennis Taylor, who's working in the snooker, read in one of the local Dungannon papers he was going to try and catch a glimpse of our coverage if he could at Sheffield. So if you're watching, Dennis, it's going quite well for the Swifts so far. Godfrey Clark, the father of the golfer Darren Clark, former player and former manager at Dungannon Swifts, he's watching in Sligo this weekend. They're doing well. Godfrey, maybe if you have the mobile phone, or Dennis if you have the mobile, send us a text message, let us know how you think the boys are doing. 81771 is the number. That of course applies to any of our viewers. Perhaps they're getting a little bit nervous now into the second half. Help settle the nerves, waste a few seconds, send us a text message. Makes Jackie think he has friends. Here's Thompson. The referee's called the play back, I think, for the initial challenge. There's a Dungannon player lying on the ground, injured a little bit earlier.
Well, this is where Dungannon need to be a little bit careful, because the heat, the energy levels, the hype of the day, it saps the energy. And now all of a sudden it looks like a few of them are going down with cramp. There's a few injuries, and they're going to have to weather the storm here. I think the busiest person is the female physio for Dungannon.
It's very inconsiderate, actually. All the players, the majority of the players, have gone down on the far side of the pitch. At least Shane McCabe, whenever he went down on the same side as the dugout. It meant she didn't have as far to run. Face painters have been busy today. It's good to see they know the songs off by heart, don't need the song sheets anymore. Among those Dungannon Swifts fans somewhere, a group of 50 plus who have travelled from Strabane. There's the fall, looks pretty innocuous, Ram McCluskey going down, but the Dungannon fans here from Strabane, they're the family and friends of JP Gallagher, the left back, who booked the bus so that they could all travel up together. Now McCluskey, I think, is going to be carried off here, and that's a sad end of the afternoon for Ram McCluskey, who's had a very, very tough week. His father passed away earlier in the week, and that's why the Dungannon players are wearing the black armbands today. And he's going to leave the afternoon's action on a stretcher.
A funny feeling it might be a calf muscle has pulled up on him, Joe.
Just the way he went down, really, as opposed to the challenge itself. But this may mean that Harry Fay has to make the change that Joe McAree wanted him to make, and that was the introduction of Everaldo, who would be a more attack-minded left-sided player. And it would be two out-and-out wingers in the Dungannon team for the last 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, well, he's certainly a good defender. He's also got a little bit of pace about him, and they look to get into the box. So it could be a straight change here.
McCluskey seems to be in a degree of pain, and he'll get a standing ovation from the Dungannon Swifts fans. Nice to see Noel Bailey, the Linfield skipper, there just applauding as McCluskey was carried off. He's obviously aware of the difficult week that the young man has had.
Yeah, well, it's a big day for the young lad, you know, the sad passing of his father, so our thoughts are with him.
Here's Noel Bailey. Ferguson trying to flick it on. Here's Thompson trying to stretch Dungannon at the back, wins the corner kick. Dungannon are still down to 10 men. They still haven't managed to get Everaldo on yet. I'm not quite sure what the delay is. I see somebody standing holding a shirt down below us, which I assume is Everaldo's shirt. I'm not quite sure. In comes the corner. It's well headed away by McMinn. Might have another cross to deal with. Here's Noel Bailey. Linfield trying to take advantage of this numerical advantage that they have. Good cross into the box. A header down. Well taken by Dwayne Nelson. I think it was Ferguson maybe who won the header. Dixon was there as well. There they are.
It's young McConkey, they're bringing it on.
So Everaldo's going to have to wait. Mark McAllister, who hasn't scored this season, is introduced. Dungannon Swifts, I think, will be pleased to get back to 11-a-side. Started on the right, Stephen. I wonder, does that mean Scullion's going to switch and go to the left?
Yeah, I would think so. I think young McConkey, number 17, is an out-and-out right-sided player, right-footed.
Played forward by Ray. McAreevy wins it. Ferguson. Mulgrew trying to barge his way through. Here's Thompson. Couldn't quite take it in his stride. Thomas Ray did well. And JP Gallagher, the other fullback, came across to put the ball to safety. McShane's cross. Linfield trying to turn the screw. Drifting away from Aidan O'Kane. Couldn't keep it in.
Just haven't seen enough of Aidan O'Kane down the left-hand side today. Not getting enough of the ball. And he's starving the delivery into the two centre forwards. So I think we need to see more action from him down that side.
Good round of applause from the Linfield fans, which you may have heard as the stretcher carrying Ryan McCuskey makes its way up the tunnel. McConkey does well, and people looking to get a couple of positive early touches after coming off the bench.
I'll be very surprised, Joel, if we don't see Thomas Stewart introduced into the game very, very soon. He has impressed me every time I've seen him this year.
William Murphy doesn't really pick anybody out with the pass, and ball set up nicely for Gallagher. It meant to get headed back to the goalkeeper. Dungannon Swifts were 100-1, apparently, to win 3-2 today.
Oh. You obviously had a pound on that, Joel, did you?
No, it's told you, our director, he has a problem.
All right, okay.
Knows odds inside out. Sending it for counselling. Flag is up for offside. Apparently McAllister came back from an offside position to win the header. That is why the flag was raised. Dixon finds Irvin. Here's a bit of space for Paul McAreevy, who has been quieter than usual. That sums up his afternoon so far, I have to say.
There's no penetration in Linfield's play at the moment. We're not getting any width in the game. We're not getting the passing game going through midfield.
They're going to make a change soon, Linfield. I just wonder who they'll introduce. Maybe Thomas Stewart would be an attacking option. Or Stewart, of course, could play on the left-hand side. Stephen, he's played there before, but I don't think he gets the same influence in a game as he does when he plays as a central forward.
He's definitely more suited to the centre forward position. I've seen him play on the left as well, but he's definitely more suited to centre forward.
Thompson trying to flick it out to Dixon. It's good link-up play. Irvin trying to poke it through to Mulgrew. Johnny Montgomery coming across for Dungannon. Happy just to let it run out of play, and that's a goal kick.
That's good play by Johnny Montgomery. He knows exactly what he was doing. Ushered the play. Just Linfield look a little bit tired, you know, that run of Jimmy Mulgrew there just looked a little bit tired. Paul McAreevy looks a little bit tired, centre midfield.
Well, it is Aidan O'Kane who comes off. Thomas Stewart, with 14 goals to his name this season, comes on. Scored in the quarter-final replay against Ballymena, scored in the semi-final against Distillery. Can he make it 3 in a row?
Well, he's brought him on the left-hand side of midfield, so I'm sure he'll be asking him to get penetrating runs up into the centre forward position, join the strikers.
Linfield have all 4 strikers on the pitch. Quick free kick was a poor one. And it caught a Dungannon player offside, who was Rory Hamill. Just like it was 7 years ago when these sides met here in the quarter-final of the Irish Cup, it's still 2-2. Will we have a hero, or will we have extra time? Deep cross, that should be the goalkeeper's ball, didn't get there. Defender took it away from him because the defender wasn't particularly confident that the goalkeeper was going to make it.
Defender done the right thing. Dean Nelson didn't command his area, had to get rid of the ball.
McMinn wasn't taking any chances. Here's Stewart. Didn't get enough on the ball to find McShane, who had taken the throw. William Murphy read that little flick from Rory Hamill. Stewart once again. McAreevy goes down. Referee wasn't impressed. Now here's McAllister. One-on-one with William Murphy. Inside the box, fires it across the face of goal. Should have hit the target, Stephen.
Dungannon just seemed to be that little bit sharper to the ball. They've out-muscled the Linfield at the back. They play a great ball forward to young McAllister. He's outstripped them for pace and should have hit the target.
Would have been goal number 16 for the season for Mark McAllister. He'd be disappointed himself that he didn't hit the target, but it's supposed to be fair to him, it's his first real sight of goal in the match. He's worked very, very hard, but in terms of chances, hasn't had too many. William Murphy now fouls McAllister.
He's led the line particularly well, hasn't he, McAllister, today? He's got the confidence to take the ball in and then turn his man and spin him and run him.
Perhaps that was a case of William Murphy saying that's what you get for running past me.
Yeah. Harry Fay's not happy about that.
I think he wants a yellow card for that one. Here's the tackle again. It's just a clever flick from McAllister. He just outwitted William Murphy, really, who was already committed to making the challenge.
It's those little innocuous tackles. You know the word I meant, Joe. Those are the little things that just hurt you sometimes in games. You twist an ankle, get a wee dig in the muscle, and then all of a sudden you're off, and it upsets the whole balance.
Sometimes the more meaty challenges don't do as much damage.
Exactly.
He's lying flat on his back, McAllister. Doesn't look too good for him. It's the free kick again. Dungannon Swifts are down to 10 men for a period of time. They'll not want to lose McAllister. Are we going to have extra time, I wonder? 2001, the last Irish Cup final that went to the extra half hour. Linfield were the losers that day. Glenn Torrin winning by a Michael Halliday goal to 0. Well won back. Mulgrew now has it for Linfield. Looking for movement. That's a lovely ball. Dixon trying to feed it in towards Ferguson. Again, indecision. Johnny Montgomery probably did the right thing. Thought about leaving it for the goalkeeper. If he'd left it for the goalkeeper, I think Ferguson would have scored.
Tremendous play from Jamie Mulgrew. What a fantastic tackle he makes here. He runs 70 yards, plays a brilliant ball into Glenn Ferguson, and almost gets a strike away on goal.
Now have another player down. McAllister is back on. Still sort of working at his feet. McAreevy's now lying down for Linfield, close to the centre circle. He now needs treatment. But we're going to have 3 or 4 minutes of injury time, I think, here, Stephen. The physios have been called upon on many occasions.
Yeah, the second half just seems to... we've lost the fluency of the football. And it just looks to me a little bit like tired legs. There's a few rash challenges, tired challenges out there. And it's got all the hallmarks now of extra time, hasn't it, Joe?
It certainly has. Just hope that it's not a mistake, particularly from a Dungannon Swifts player that he's been forced to live with for many, many years.
Well, you come to the big day, don't you? Irish Cup final, big crowd, big occasion, and you don't want this to end in penalty kicks. You know, for a team to lose in penalty kicks in any final is horrendous.
There's where McAreevy picked up that knock just before Jimmy Mulgrew actually won the ball back to start the move for Linfield. Everybody's fitting well. Here comes the corner. Ferguson coming in. Goalkeeper beats it out. Linfield wanted to take the free kick quickly. Hamill and Mulgrew clash.
I think Rory was playing rugby there.
There's Ferguson's header. It was straight at Dwayne Nelson, which was fortunate for him. And Rory Hamill, by the way, has picked up a yellow card.
Well, that was the chance of the second half. I thought Glenn Ferguson made a tremendous run to the near post, got a great header on it, but unfortunately didn't get past the goalkeeper.
Dixon is going to take the free kick. The referee spots some pushing, and Dungannon will have a free kick. I think Peter Thompson quite knows what that was all about. The referee saw something, and it was his strike partner Glenn Ferguson who almost put Linfield ahead for the third time. Already scored once this season, once this afternoon. Glenn Ferguson scored more than once this season. 23. He's already scored once this afternoon. That was a great chance for his second.
Well, these are the time in the game for any opposition where you have to hold your nerve, hold tight, because Linfield always come very strong in the last 10 minutes of football matches.
McShane finds McAreevy, trying to turn. Good defending from Montgomery, but he had to concede the corner. McAreevy himself will take it. Poor delivery, easily cleared. Away from Dungannon, quickly getting the ball forward. Now McConkey's the target, the substitute. The referee's given the free kick for the foul on McAllister before he tried to play the ball.
Very good refereeing, Joe, because he saw the play build. There's a foul on McAllister, but he was trying to play the advantage to see if they could get in around the back to the right-hand side here.
Here comes Michael Galt for Linfield. Who's coming off? Paul McAreevy.
Yeah, I think McAreevy's been tiring in the last 10 minutes, got a couple of knocks, and Michael Galt, superb player that he is, will go in there and marshal that now in the centre of the midfield.
Started last season's final, did Michael Galt? Bit of sympathy for Paul McAreevy from his manager, but Galt, who started last season's decider, has to be content with a cameo appearance this afternoon. Well won by Jim Irvin. Mulgrew trying to drive forward for Linfield. Johnny Montgomery marshalling the defence. A quick throw-in is perhaps caught Dungannon sleeping. Peter Thompson goes down easily in the penalty area.
A few accusing fingers being pointed at Peter Thompson for diving.
Tell you what, they were lucky that Peter Thompson's touch let him down, because Dungannon weren't really switched on for that throw-in, Stephen.
No.
Ball played against Galt. The Dungannon throw. Looks like you might get a little bit longer, Stephen, to decide on your man of the match. An extra half hour, perhaps, unless we get a mistake or a moment of magic. Ferguson got caught there by an arm, but the referee was happy that it wasn't intentional. Here's McShane. Linfield starting to dominate the possession in the last few minutes. Here's Thompson, nods it down to Mulgrew, hits the shot, just wide.
That's good play by Linfield. Pat McShane offered himself for Noel Bailey, took a lovely ball to his feet, played a lovely inside pass, set back by Peter Thompson, great shot, Jimmy Mulgrew.
Wider than we thought from this angle, but he caught it so sweetly. And so many of his goals this season have been spectacular shots from outside the box. As I was saying in the first half, his last goals came against Dungannon You were half expecting that one to hit the back of the net. Ferguson beats Montgomery to the ball, but it falls kindly for Shane McCabe. Hamill couldn't gather that one in. Here's Dixon. Back towards Mulgrew. Assistant referee, I think, is flagged for the free kick.
Another Dungannon player down with cramp. This will play a big factor, Joel, in the last half an hour of this football match, because they don't really have the quality substitutes to come on and change the game.
Quite a few have gone down with knocks or cramp or little niggles. Does he make a change now, or does he leave it and see what happens for 90 minutes? Time for...
Well, he's 7 minutes plus injury time to see out, so he's probably thinking to himself, hold on to what you've got.
Well, there's plenty of luck between those two. Harry Fay, the manager in the suit, he's got his lucky socks on. He's had them on every round, bought by his daughter Amy. Terry McCrory, his assistant, he has a lucky George Best Man United scarf, he was telling me yesterday. Apparently it's worked wonders during the cup run.
I'm just waiting for all the teddy bears to turn up, Joel, like Stuart Pearce.
That's right, yes. They were dispensed with in recent weeks. He must have had the teddy bear with him this morning. They were beaten in the Manchester Derby, Man City. So
I've never known so much nonsense in all my life. Teddy bears at football matches.
We've heard of teddy bears being thrown out of prams by players in tantrums, but
yeah,
not by managers.
Never by a manager.
JP Gallagher has to go off, of course, because of the attention that he received. So once again, then Dungannon are down to 10 players to defend the throw. Towards William Murphy, over his head. Mark Dixon didn't really get that where he wanted it. He never really got his feet sorted out before he was able to hit the shot.
A little bit of a tired effort there from Mark Dixon, but these players have put in tremendous effort over the 80-odd minutes that we've had. Hot day out there, energy levels are sapped now. This is where a mistake comes into it, Joel, and you lose the cup.
Well, whatever happens, Dungannon Swifts can be very, very proud of their effort in this, their first Irish Cup final appearance. Noel Bailey able to find Pat McShane. Will he get a third winner's medal, Pat McShane, or will he end up today on the losing side? Trying to get Linfield going in the attacking half. And he has to go back to the skipper. Mulgrew finds Galt. Long marauding running style of his with those long legs. It's kept in the near side by Stewart, but he could only give possession back to Dungannon. Ray happy to knock it into the Linfield half. Here's Irvin. Excellent play from him. He was outstanding on Monday night against Cork City, and he's just picked up where he left off. Here's Mulgrew. Can he work a shooting opportunity? Being forced wide. He's won the corner. Well, I thought he'd won the corner. The referee said it was a goal kick.
Jamie Mulgrew in the last 15 minutes, Joel, has really taken this game by the scruff of the neck. Everything good is going through him. He's running at the heart of the defence. He's opening up passages of play for other players. He's been excellent.
Well, I'm not quite sure about that, Stephen. It looked like a corner kick from where I was, but then again, I could be wrong. The referee was closer than me, so we'll give Mr. Courtney the benefit of the doubt. Here comes Dixon. Linfield trying to get a late winner. They don't fancy extra time, perhaps, with a Setanta final coming up next Saturday. 56th game of the season for Linfield. It's been a long slog. They're being pushed to the limit by Dungannon Swifts this afternoon. Everaldo's going to come on shortly. Not quite sure that he's ready just yet. Irvin, cross blocked. Throw in, not a corner.
Linfield will be happy to be playing in the football in the Dungannon half.
The referee has signalled now that we can have the change. So Everaldo's coming on for what will be his final appearance for Dungannon Swifts.
The script is there. Can Everaldo deliver the lines?
Surprising substitution, Joe. Taking young David Scullion off.
Thought if you were a Linfield defender, you'd have been absolutely delighted to see the back of him. Doesn't look too happy, David Scullion.
No, he does not indeed.
Everaldo takes centre stage. Have some defending to do first of all before he can show us what he's capable of in the attacking sense. More defending to do. Linfield have a corner.
Maybe Harry feels that the best opportunity now is to play out for penalty kicks.
I think we're going to have 5 minutes of stoppage time. The signal's just been made by the referee towards the 4th official.
That doesn't surprise us.
Here comes the corner. It's an important touch, you know, with the near post. Just took it away from Ferguson. Montgomery watched the bounce of the ball well, but he still had to concede a throw-in. Ferguson helps it towards the back post. There's the header. Great save by Dwayne Nelson. William Murphy thought he'd scored. That's twice from quick throw-ins, though. Dungannon have been caught out, Stephen.
Well, you see, this is what happens. The ball boys at Windsor Park here are told to get the ball on quickly.
Dungannon trying to break at the other end. Here's McAllister. Pat McShane does well, covering for Murphy, who, of course, was up trying to score at the other end. Rising finish coming up. Don't move. Don't switch channels, stay with it. You might miss something. Michael Galt does well, wins it back, and gives the ball away. Bailey being put under pressure, but he still manages to find Galt. He's looking for support on his left. Stewart wasn't there, so he has to give it to McShane instead. Galt once again, seen a lot of the ball since he came off the bench. That was a poor pass by his standards. McAllister has it for Dungannon. Hamill trying to find Everaldo. Good pass. Irvin using his speed. He's no slouch. Again, Jim Irvin tidies up magnificently well.
It's a great passage of play we've just been watching here. Both teams are really just going after it now.
Dixon with the cushion header. Montgomery was close to Ferguson. Been close to each other all afternoon. Hardly going to change now.
You'd have to say that Dwayne Nelson's save, Joe, was top drawer. He plucked it out from nearly
behind the line.
Nearly behind the line from where we were sat.
Murphy did well with a header. Nelson, how important will that save be come the end of this final?
He's certainly kept his team in it.
We're into stoppage time. 4.5 minutes of stoppage time still to play, or else it will be half an hour of extra time. Ferguson thought about jumping, maybe realised the corner was going over his head. Mulgrew should tidy this up for Linfield, ensure that they keep possession. Mulgrew then crosses. Murphy's in there again, good header by McMinn. Bailey with the shot. Well, he's an unlikely goal-scoring hero, Noel Bailey. He hasn't scored this season. His last goal came against Carrick Rangers in October 2005.
Yeah, well, when I played here, Joe, I can see his shooting hasn't improved.
Here's Tommy Stewart. Not what was required.
Well, that just really typifies Thomas Stewart, because he's not a left-sided player. He gets the ball. He doesn't create. He likes to play through the centre. He likes the ball to his feet, link the play, and we're not seeing the best of him on the left-hand side.
The injury to Oran Kearney's a big blow for Linfield, who
huge blow.
So effective in that left-sided midfield role. And we wish Oran well with another serious injury. He lost so many months of this season to injury, and he's going to lose so many more months with that cruciate injury.
Yeah, you feel so sorry for Owen because he's fought back from a very serious hip injury. He comes back, gets a few games, gets a few goals, vital goals, and then finds himself with a cruciate. Going to be out for another year. Difficult.
Linfield have missed him today. We've mentioned many times already this afternoon about that quarter-final meeting here 7 years ago, which finished 2-2. It looks as if we're going to have another 2-2 Irish Cup meeting between Dungannon Swifts and Linfield, only this time it's in the final. This time it won't go to a replay. This time we'll have an extra half hour. Funnily enough, the replay of that quarter-final went to extra time at Steinmore Park. There was a late winner in the 118th minute, and it was scored by a certain Glenn Ferguson.
Oh, the little push there, he got away with it.
Yes, and good defending. Dixon Stiller, Thompson! Goalkeeper came out, narrowed the angle. Did he get a touch? JP Gallagher gets an absolute roasting from the goalkeeper. Well, they made an absolute hash of that between them, and Thompson, you thought, well, it was either the goalkeeper or the defender sliding in that got the touch. It is a corner, and Dungannon Swifts survive. Thompson knows that was a big chance.
I think young Nelson's just kept his team in it again.
Goalkeeper comes for the corner. Bailey's in there, heads it down. The volley's wide from Ferguson.
I'm sure Dungannon are just hoping now to get the extra time because they're under so much pressure here. It's wave after wave of Linfield attack, and one of these are going to go into the net.
Well, the Thompson chance, I'd love to know if that was Nelson or if it was the defender sliding in that got the touch. If it was the defender, it's a magnificent piece of defending.
Well, I think both of them have to be highly praised, Joe, because both of them closed the space down particularly well.
Linfield surging forward, deep in stoppage time. We have another minute of stoppage time to play. This is the initial chance. You thought that Montgomery he lost his bearings totally. The defender's a great block. Was it McMenathan coming across? Pat McShane. Mulgrew in space once more. McCabe sliding in. If Mulgrew had gone down there, you know, he might have got a free kick. Linfield settled for a throw-in instead.
You see how quickly the ball's come back on from the ball boys. That's caught Dungannon out here twice today.
Ferguson. Back to Mulgrew. Irvin wants it, Irvin gets it. Good cross again. Might fall for Stewart here. Dungannon aren't clearing their lines. Snares are setting in, they don't want to lose it now. McShane's cross. Gets poor from McCabe. In towards Thompson again. Everaldo helps defending. Tries to win the header. Backs to the wall for Dungannon Swifts. Jim Irvin got the last touch on that one. There is the final whistle from the referee, Mark Courtney. It's going to be another half hour. We couldn't get any second half goals. The 4 goals in the first half. That's all we could manage. And Dungannon Swifts have been absolutely magnificent in their first Irish Cup final, Stephen, you have to say.
Well, Harry Face, they've been absolutely superb today, Joe. Absolutely superb. But now comes the crunch time because Harry Face going to have to work his magic on these boys. The tired limbs are there. You can see that when the match finished there was 3 or 4 of them went down on their knees, and now he's going to have to pick them up. The physiotherapist is going to have to get a few legs rubbed there. Hope they put a wee bit more oil into the engine and try and get them going again, because Linfield really came at them in the last 10 minutes, and they've got the momentum, they've got the better substitutions that can come onto the pitch maybe and turn the game.
Well, there's the full-time score. Plenty more to come. Don't be going too far from your television screen. Let's hear the views from the boys in the studio. And Jackie, it's still as it was at half-time. Full-time score, as was the half-time score. Linfield 2, Dungannon Swifts 2.
Yeah, thank you, Joel and Stephen. As you say, more to come. Stay with us. We'll be showing you that extra time, of course, and the penalty kicks if required. Well, Chris, David Jeffrey trying to gee his men up.
I think he'd be saying keep playing as you finish the game. You know, Linfield were very strong towards the latter stages, and you know, you were expecting a goal, and there was a few that looked like they were going to end up in goals that Dungannon somehow managed to clear their lines. But you know, he'll be saying more of the same, keep going.
Yeah. And Marty, a few tired limbs out there, the female physio from Dungannon administering some treatment, but it's been all Linfield really in the second half.
Yes, it has, very much so, Jackie. They've been the stronger of the two teams. Be a bit of reverse psychology on David Jeffrey's behalf now. I would imagine he'd just be encouraging the lads to give another bit of effort and to go on and win it, rather than at half time when it was just saying he would be having a go. He would be encouraging. They've had a long, hard season, and what a shame for them now if they were let tired legs lose out. So we'd be just asking him to give that little bit more. Harry, on the other hand, will be just trying to keep the lads up and focused on the game. Obviously, the first few minutes into the game, again, they don't want to concede as they did at the start of the game, because it'll be very hard to come back. This game looks like it's a goal winner to me. It may go to penalty kicks, but certainly...
I think you may have mentioned that at half-time.
Yes, you know, it could end up in that situation, but it could still go either way. Hamill and McAllister still look remarkably fit and strong up front. McAllister has impressed me very much. I'm quite sure that if any club from across the water having a look at this boy, they should snap him up quickly. I think he's got what it takes to make the grade, but it's pretty evenly balanced overall, and Linfield just shading it.
But the thing, Chris, is that, you know, they might be saying, the Dungannon boys might be saying, well, they've had chances, they haven't scored them. They could nip in and score the winner here easily.
Yeah, well, they've shown there that they can defend, and they can defend for long periods of time. It's because we've all said there that Linfield were the stronger team in the second half. So if they can go and steal a goal and maybe, you know, try and do what they were able to do for the second 45 minutes there, then, you know, they could be celebrating at the end of the day.
But we all know about tired limbs and a mistake maybe being costly. But let's hear what Billy Hamilton has to say. He's with Thomas.
Billy, after that last 10 minutes, when Dungannon did everything to stop the ball going into the goal, they'll be happy with extra time.
They will be happy. Linfield came on strong the last 10 minutes, had a few chances, a good save from the keeper. A bit of poor finishing could have won the game for them, but now the dreaded extra time for both sets of teams. Both teams look a bit tired, and it'll be a long half hour for them, you know.
Will fatigue be a factor now? It's been a long, hard season for both these clubs.
Especially for Linfield, with the success they've had a lot more games. They've looked a bit jaded to me, but it's, you know, there's going to be more mistakes made, and a good bit of individual ability might just win the game for either team.
Thanks very much, Billy.
All right, thanks, Billy. Thanks, Thomas. Just a reminder, 3 minutes was gone when Mark Dixon put Linfield in front. 17 minutes, Rory Hamill, a brilliant equaliser. And then 37 minutes, 2-1 Linfield. Ferguson was in there. And then 2 minutes later, a free kick. Rodney McAree made it 2-2. That seems a long time ago. No goals in the second half. But what about extra time? They're all gearing up. Dwayne Nelson just measuring the goalpost there. Back to Stephen and Joe.
Thanks, Jackie. So, how much is there left in the tank? It's the big question. Both the semi-finals went to extra time, so both these teams know what it's like to play the extra half hour. Dungannon and Cliftonville couldn't produce a goal in their semi-final. Linfield ran riot in extra time against Lisburn Distillery. They'll be hoping to do the same again. First time we've had extra time in the Irish Cup final for 6 years.
Yeah, well, it's who's going to cope with it better now, Joe. You know, we talked about the fatigue that may have been setting in both sets of teams, but it's who can cope with it the best. If someone gets their noses in front here, then they'll be favourites to win it.
The Omens now stacking up perhaps against Linfield. They were on the receiving end the last time we had extra time in an Irish Cup final, and as we told you earlier, they were on the receiving end the last time a team won the Irish Cup when they were playing in their first ever final. That was Carrick Rangers 31 years ago. I wasn't even born then. Thompson flicks it on, can't find Dixon. Here's Bailey. McMinn faced with a dilemma. Does he give it back to the goalkeeper or does he play safe? I think he made the right choice. Dixon twists and turns. Good cross towards Stewart. Ray defends his position well, the right back. Here's McAllister. Can he keep it in? Oh, bully.
Thomas Ray done well the back post there, Joel, because Thomas Stewart was coming right in at the back of him, and he defended well, muscled him out of it, and cleared his lines well.
Stood strong. Hopeful ball from McShane. Montgomery able to clear. Here's Hamill. William Murphy just testing the advertising hoardings around the pitch, making sure that they were still intact. McAllister again, trying to work the shooting opportunity. Too many defenders around him. Everaldo's header, just wide.
Great cross from Rory Hamill there, pinged the ball across. All Everaldo had to do was get a touch on it, got good power on it, just wide.
Alan Mannus, I think, will say he had that one covered, to be fair. Pulled his hands out of the way, realised it was going wide and didn't want to concede the corner. Here's Irvine. Finds Thompson. Great chance, great save.
Fantastic goalkeeping, brave, came out there on his feet, kept his eye on the ball, great save.
Peter Thompson with his best chance of the afternoon. He's bidding to become the first player since Gary Haylock to score in consecutive cup finals. Jim Irvine put that chance on a plate for him, but Dwayne Nelson using his feet to great effect, and he made the magnificent save. Keeps the scores level. Linfield failing to make the most of the corner kick. Still have possession though. Dixon will do well to reach this. It's gone behind for a goal kick. The ball is in the net, but it won't count.
Great play by Jim Irvine and the build up to that move. I think he's looked very accomplished today, Jim Irvine. He's been at the heart of everything that's been good about Linfield. Driving into good areas, picking out his pass with precision, and setting up a great chance there for Peter Thompson. And Peter will be disappointed he didn't score.
Perhaps a man of the match contender. Stephen will be choosing a man of the match just before the conclusion of the game. So he's an extra 20 minutes or so still to make his mind up. Tough choice today. Been a number of players who have played particularly well, but nobody's been head and shoulders above the rest.
That's right.
Glad it's your decision, not mine.
Well, there's still plenty of time, isn't there?
Dungannon have given David Jeffrey plenty to think about. He did say during the week it would be a difficult test for his team. It's certainly worked out that way. Good header again from Irvine. He's giving away a height advantage to Everaldo, but he has great spring, great leap. Dixon, who started everything off with the first goal. He'd like to finish it off with the winner as well, I would have thought. Here's Mulgrew. Still getting forward, Mulgrew, after Ferguson had got the ball back to him. That'll be a free kick.
It's another powerful surge from Jimmy Mulgrew, looking for his pass, playing his wall pass, continue his run. Foul, brought to the ground. Should be a booking.
Dwayne Nelson will want to get a good look at this. lining his wall up. Well, he's not. There's only 2 players in the wall. Hamill and Macari.
It's a sort of distance that the goalkeeper would be happy if he takes a shot from there.
That's what Alan Mannus said. Here's Ferguson winning the header over the bar onto the roof of the net. Thought it should have been a corner. Referee and linesman give a goal kick.
It's great to see that Dean Nelson hasn't let that early setback of the goal disrupt his confidence today, because in the last maybe half an hour he's made 3 world-class saves to keep his team in the game.
William Murphy with a free header. Here's Thomas Ray, who's acknowledged by his teammates as being the fittest player in the squad. Now McAllister up here against Bailey, and Bailey had to stretch, had to put the ball away. Bailey wants to know why William Murphy wasn't covering.
Well, they're like an old ball, doesn't it, Joe, over the top? And
so they're like an old married couple, Bailey and Murphy. Now they've been together so long, and they had a good old-fashioned row there momentarily.
Well, I've noticed that from both teams, you know.
I think Bailey must wear the trousers because William Murphy wasn't answering back. Either that or he knew he was in the wrong. There he is, Mrs. Bailey. Mannus, comfortable catch again. It's a couple of corners from Dungannon Swifts inside the 6-yard box. Too close to the goalkeeper.
Well, they're getting good delivery into the box, but there's absolutely nobody challenging to win that header like Glenn Ferguson earlier in the first half.
Just the way he was putting pressure at the other end. Here is Ferguson again with the header, and he just tried to glance it towards the top corner.
That's a little bit of difference, Joe. Good quality balls coming in. You've got to attack them with you know, to try and score a goal. Glenn Ferguson, master of it.
.484 career goals now for Glenn Ferguson. You would have thought he'd get that contract to play next season, and you'd be amazed if he didn't hit the 500. Here's McAllister, does well past Murphy. Can't get past Bailey. Thompson cleverly plays it into the path of Galt. Everaldo's offside.
Just one touch too many from McAllister there on the edge of the box. He done really, really well. Spun his man and should have took a shot on earlier and give Noah Bailey opportunity to come back and rob him.
It's good defending from Bailey, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Just one touch too many.
Here's Galt, trying to stamp his authority in the match. He's running down a blind alley there, Michael Galt, really. Didn't have any support wide in the left, even if he managed to get the pass out there.
Well, Michael Galt has this ability with his big long stride to really run away from people, and David will have got him on there with the tired leg to try and stretch Dungannon, and he's starting to do that.
We're a third of the way through extra time. Are we going to have a penalty shootout in the final for the first time ever?
Tell you, Glenn Ferguson will be glad to see the back of Johnny Montgomery after this match, because
Dixon could be in, but the ball favours the goalkeeper.
He'll be seeing him in his sleep tonight.
The fact that he's done so well, Steve, will that annoy Johnny Montgomery even more? That one vital slip resulted in Glenn Ferguson's goal, will it?
Well, that's the big thing about centre forwards, isn't it? You know, you get outmarked, you know, outplayed for 88 minutes, and then bang bang, the good strikers score the goals.
Not that it ever would have happened to you, Stephen, in terms of being outmarked for 88 minutes.
Never. More like 89.
Here's Ray. Can't find a teammate. Murphy not being given too much time by McAllister. McMinn's come across. If Glenn Ferguson's been seeing Johnny Montgomery in his sleep, then Peter Thompson will be seeing Adam McMinn in his. The only difference was the one opportunity that Peter Thompson got when McMinn wasn't around, Dwayne Nelson was on hand to save it. Here's Mulgrew. McCabe not allowing him to settle. Pat McShane. Dixon is in space. Well played, McMinn again. He's been immense.
Excellent.
Rory Hamill, lovely ball, reverse pass. Alan Mannus has a difficult back pass to deal with, but did pretty well. And then Rory Hamill tried to keep it in. Why did he not let it go for the throw in? It was a good idea at the time, Rory.
Linfield just need to be careful they don't get exposed at the back.
Late challenge there, and the referee's let play continue, and Mulgrew's gone down, stayed down. Up goes Bailey. One in the air by McCabe, and Jim Irvin steps in and just heads it behind for the corner kick.
I think Jimmy Mulgrew might be very seriously hurt here.
That was the end of the move. That was Jim Irvin coming across to make sure Dungannon Swifts didn't score. Mulgrew's writhing in agony.
He actually kicked the ground, Joe, and he went down in a heap.
One of those innocuous ones that you were talking about earlier, Steve.
Yeah.
Tim Mounsey's a midfield player. Tim Mounsey could play in the centre of midfield if young Mulgrew does have to come off. If he was going to change one of the strikers, of course, as happened on Monday night with David Jeffrey, he could put Dixon up front and he could play Tim Mounsey wide on the right. So, not quite sure what this change means. Tim Mounsey is preparing to come on, that is the only thing that we do know. But who is coming off? David Jeffrey looking relatively calm given the circumstances. Right, here we go. Here's what happened to Jimmy Mulgrew. He did. He caught the ground as he played the pass.
Probably a sharp jolt into the medial knee ligament, probably.
It's very technical, Stephen.
Yeah, I've done it once. Someone told me about it.
Well, he'll be getting a visit from the groundsman after the game, no matter what happens. Not allowed to take up divots like that. At least he's able to walk off. That would suggest that perhaps Jimmy Mulgrew will be back on. Linfield have a corner to defend. Danger still isn't clear. Drilled in towards the substituted the near post, Mark McAllister. Bailey got there first. Mulgrew is waved back on. Thomas Ray up from the back. He wants it played in his direction. McAllister, who almost got his foot to that previous cross, is also there. I'm going to get a couple of minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first period of extra time. Bailey manages to head the ball clear. Forward by McMinn and away by Murphy. Here's Stewart. Does well. Was he tripped or did he fall over? The referee said he was tripped.
Experienced defending yet again by Johnny Montgomery. It was a little bit of a foul.
Just
done
enough.
Well.
Here's Thomas Stewart. Back to McShane. Well, and Dixon was coming in to try and beat it in the air. This is Mulgrew. Linfield finishing the first period of extra time strongly. Thomas Stewart now has referee playing an advantage. Ball in Ferguson's header! What a save again from Dwayne Nelson. Magnificent. Well, that's twice now he's come to the rescue in this first period of extra time, and twice the saves have been simply breathtaking. Here's Mulgrew, still inside the Dungannon area. This time it's too far ahead of Glenn Ferguson, who must have thought he'd scored his second of the afternoon. He's taken a drink, he's earned it.
It was a great passage of play. What a delivery. Well, let's see it here again on the monitor. That's just top drawer. Absolutely, you know, ball going away from you. Down to his left-hand side. Great save.
Ferguson had got the power that he wanted in the header as well, Stephen. It wasn't as if it was an easy one to deal with. There's probably more power in that header than there was in the shot that he scored from.
Yeah, it looked that way. He made a great connection, but it was a lovely build-up of play. Thomas Stewart set a lovely ball back, whipped in. all the pace was on the ball, just had to glance it towards goal.
And a good advantage from the referee that we should probably mention as well. Allowed the play to continue. Here's Irvin. Ferguson's on the chase. Montgomery gets back. He's holding Ferguson. He still manages to get the ball to Thompson. Forward by Galt. Here's Thompson up against McMinn. Won the ball, Peter Thompson. Now can he get the cross in? Montgomery had taken up a good position. Half-time and extra time.
Tremendous. The back two, McMinn and Johnny
Look
Montgomery.
at David Jeffrey. He senses that they're on top.
Outstanding.
He's pumping the fist. He wants more from his players. He wants them to press home this advantage. He can't want penalty kicks given Linfield's penalty record, Stephen. The only man really who's showed any consistency from the spot since he got back from injury was Oran Kearney, and he's not here today. He's injured. He's not playing. So many of these Linfield players have missed penalty kicks within the last 2 seasons, and their confidence from the spot is so poor. Well, you would have to think Dungannon would go into a shootout as favourites.
What you have to say to yourself is, cometh the hour, cometh the man. Stand up there, take your penalty kick. If it goes to that, let's do it. And you know, Linfield they're highly paid professional footballers. You know, it's a spot kick from 12 yards. You know, you can play that shot, Joe.
Can I?
No.
Well, there's Alan Mannus, who may be called upon in the penalty shootout, but he's been watching his opposite number, Dwayne Nelson, who's produced a series of magnificent saves in that first half of extra time, and also towards the end of the second period of normal time. We have 15 minutes plus stoppage time. Dwayne Nelson, the goalkeeper. There's Harry Fay in his suit. Remember, we're telling you about his lucky socks. We can't see those. Are the lucky socks for Harry Fay going to do the trick? He certainly believes in his players. He wants an extra last 15 minutes from Mark McAllister and co.
It's been so exciting, hasn't it, Joel?
A magnificent final. And the Dungannon fans are really enjoying their day out because their team, well, they're doing them proud.
They're doing them proud. They've defended, you know, so stoutly in the last 15 minutes. They've been absolutely backs to the wall, but I tell you what, they've been brilliant.
How's the nerves? 81771. Send us a text. How are you bearing up? I wonder, is Dennis Taylor watching in Sheffield? Hope he's remembered to put the glasses on.
Yes, well, that's probably true. Is it the upside down glasses he's still wearing?
He's back to the normal ones. Pat McShane's cross easily cleared, but Pat McShane will have a throw in.
Well, I think this 15 minutes will get more of the same. Linfield pressure and looking for the opening to win the cup.
Dixon trying to use the strength, goes down. Galt! What a chance! Michael Galt, who hasn't scored since December 2005 when he got a hat-trick against Lisburn Distillery, with a wonderful opportunity. He should have at least tested the goalkeeper.
He should have absolutely wrecked it. He went for a little bit of a curl on it, tried to pop it up into the top corner, and he's just missed it by 6 inches.
Is it Dungannon's day?
Well, 3 fantastic saves from young Nelson. A big miss there for Linfield. You know, sometimes the romance of the cup, isn't it?
15 years since a team other than Glentoran have beaten Linfield in an Irish Cup final. I just wonder.
Both sets of fans have been fantastic. They're out there singing their heads off right now, and it's tremendous to see such a carnival atmosphere at Windsor Park at the end of our season.
Thought you might have picked up on that, Stephen, the fact that it was 15 years since a team other than Glentoran beat Linfield in an Irish Cup final. You were playing that day when Glenavon won 2-1.
Enough of that, Joe, enough of that. Try to erase that memory.
Sorry. Noel Bailey getting the ball back to his goalkeeper. Ferguson's flick for Thompson. Thompson going through. That's a free kick.
Has Johnny Montgomery been booked, Joe?
No, he hasn't, but he might be about to get his yellow card.
That was one of the most professional fouls I've seen for a while.
When it's 2-2 in a cup final, Stephen, that's a good foul. You'd happily take a yellow card for that.
Oh, definitely.
Fourth booking, 2 yellow cards for Dungannon, 2 for Linfield. Montgomery and Hamill for Dungannon, Irvin and McAreevy for the Blues. Well, a little consultation between Mark Courtney and Glenn Ferguson. The referee wants the wall back a yard or 2. It's about 30 yards out. Here comes Ferguson. Bends it. Goalkeeper is able to catch that one comfortably. That was one for the cameras.
Yeah, that was one for the cameras. That was an easy save.
Most important thing about that was he held on to it.
You would have saved that one, Joe.
You're far too kind.
I would have saved that one, Joe.
Well, I notice you're looking at goalkeeper for next season, so I mean, let's see you put your money where your mouth is, Steve. Where's the contract? I could be made available on Saturday afternoons.
Well, talking to Mr. Johnson earlier, I think you might be available.
Well, perhaps my radio producer on Saturday afternoons would make the P45 available. Everaldo wins the header. Might break for McConkey. Pat McShane is shadowing him. William Murphy happy to knock it back to Mannus. Ferguson's flick on. Here's Thompson, twisting and turning, keeps the ball. Another corner kick. Linfield have had some good delivery from corners into the penalty area.
You just have to think, Joe, this pressure that Dungannon are under for the last 20 minutes, something has to give.
Dixon will take the corner. Comes Galt, wins the header. 2 chances for Michael Galt. That took a deflection. Another chance for Mark Dixon to get across into the penalty area. Jim Irvin watches on. Goalkeeper doesn't come. Ferguson, my goodness, free header inside the 6-yard box. You cannot keep giving Glenn Ferguson chances like that.
He'll be very disappointed here, Joe. A free header for, and he hasn't hit the target.
Where on earth is the marking? I have to say the delivery of the set pieces from Dixon the last couple of corners is absolutely fantastic. All the outfield players are inside the Dungannon half. Bailey's free kick, too long. I don't think Dwayne Nelson will be in a rush to take this.
Glenn Ferguson has just found a little bit of space in the last 2 or 3 set plays. He's picking up good positions. He's knocking his headers down, and Linfield are getting their shots away. Need to get the hold of Glenn Ferguson.
It's important maybe to just mention at this point that in the last 2 Irish Cup finals, the team that has scored first has lost. And with penalties coming up, perhaps, that's just another little omen that's perhaps pointing in the direction of a Dungannon Swifts victory. It's good play from McAree, managing to get it to McConkey. Will Bailey's been good again today.
He's been very, very good, very consistent in there. And William Murphy.
901 appearances, incredible for Noel Bailey. Goalkeeper's favourite. Goalkeeper gets there. Harry Fay looks remarkably cool. Terry McCrory has something to say. I'm sure that will surprise many of you who know him. Ferguson, he has Thompson in the penalty area. Mulgrew's trying to get there as well, but he's not quick enough. Here's Thomas Stewart. Dwayne Nelson prevents the corner. Dixon couldn't find Ferguson. Just wonder if Dungannon could exploit Linfield's attempts to try and find the winner, Stephen. Maybe a couple of gaps in the back. Flag stays, though it doesn't stay down, it's gone up late.
Linfield haven't actually been in, Dungannon haven't been in their half in the last 20 minutes.
It's hard to tell from that whether he's offside or not.
But certainly Linfield are giving it their all, aren't they? They're just throwing everything at it to try and win this game in the extra time period.
Well, they have to find a way past Dwayne Nelson. So far, since Glenn Ferguson's second goal, that has proved increasingly difficult. Johnny Montgomery just nods it down for Gallagher. McAllister on a run at Noel Bailey, perhaps. Ball just set up from McAree. I thought he was maybe going to hit it. Thomas Ray, early cross. Good defensive header from Bailey. Two Dungannon Swifts players behind him.
Two players breathing down the back of his neck. Great defending, Noel Bailey.
Now the corner is for Dungannon. It's all about the delivery. The corner kicks, last couple of corner kicks in the second half that Dungannon had, straight into the gloves of Alan Mannus. Can they make this one count? McAree has already scored one goal. Can he provide another? Here he comes. It's a near post. McAllister almost got there. It was a good defensive header from Galt. Back to McAree. Deep cross, the header from McMinn. He's well wide. He's done well, McMinn, today.
Yeah, the two central pairing there at the back for Dungannon, McMinn and Montgomery have been absolutely outstanding today.
He scored the winning penalty, Adam McMinn, in the semi-final. May get the chance to take another one today. Now that's a good ball played through by McConkey. Good covering by Irvin again. McAllister was looking favoured there at one stage, but Irvin's positioning got him out of trouble.
It's interesting, Joel, that we've got 4 goals in this cup final and the 2 defences have been outstanding.
Is being watched by Thompson. That's a difficult ball for the goalkeeper to deal with. Suppose he deserved that little bit of luck after the saves he's made. They hold their nerve, all the 22 players that are before us. High cross towards Ferguson, headed away. Mulgrew trying to maybe set it up for the shot, plays it in towards Dixon. Everaldo tracking back, did well.
You've got to survive another 3 minutes, Joel, and then it's a lottery.
Another corner for Dixon to take. Towards William Murphy. He wins the header. Adam McMinn was there to head it away. Here's Mulgrew. Trying to play it in first time. Didn't really get hold of it. Hamill does well. That will be a free kick, I think, on the far side. Assistant is flagging.
Oh, Krampus set in Jimmy Mulgrew.
He's gone down
Two
now.
snipers here, hit him one after another.
He's getting some assistance from Terry Fitzpatrick. Come on as a substitute during extra time. Must have come on during the break and extra time. Well, here are the men who could be heroes if it goes to a penalty shootout. Alan Mannus. And there's Dwayne Nelson. Usually takes a drink, Dwayne Nelson, when we see him in a close-up. Thirsty work being a goalkeeper, especially when he's under pressure. Good play from Shane McCabe. Here's Everaldo. Are we going to have a dramatic finish? Everaldo does well, still has it. Can't pick anybody out. McShane manages to get it away. Here's Galt. There's lots of space here for Dixon. Being encouraged to get forward. Made up good ground. Here's Galt. Good tackle from Montgomery. Dixon's won another corner though. Grandstand finish. Linfield are where they want to be in the opposition penalty area.
Someone has to try and pick up Winky Murphy, and someone has to get Glenn Ferguson, otherwise this will be a winning goal for Linfield.
In comes Noel Bailey, referee's given the free kick.
Where will they take the penalty kicks, Joe?
Well, I probably should have found out before the game if that had already been decided. Of course, the Kop end that you can see there behind the goal that Dwayne Nelson's defending, it's occupied by Linfield fans. The goal at the other end is empty, or sorry, the end behind the goal at the other end is empty. I wonder, is he starting to think, Harry Fay, about potential penalty takers?
Well,
he's already used a substitute, so he can't really bring somebody on to just simply take a penalty. Saw Robbie Fowler coming on late in the Champions League game the other night. I assume that's what that was for, but they didn't need Robbie Fowler to take a penalty. It was over long before then. McShane with another header. Here's Galt. That hit McMinn. Sure he knew too much about it. Everaldo. Off Irvin. Throw in.
With 1 minute of extra time, Joel, in our extra period.
60 seconds to be a hero. Or a villain. Here's Galt. Can't find his number 7. Find the other number 7. Irvin over Thompson's head. Mulgrew's shot. Great block from Ray. Thompson's now gone down. He's got cramp. They're all falling all over the place. Referee hasn't stopped the play. Thompson's now back on his feet. Linfield are on the attack. Mulgrew over Thompson's head. Is that going for a corner? Is it going for a goal kick? Well, I'm not sure about that. I thought that was a corner kick.
That was a corner.
But because the Dungannon players didn't seem particularly worried about stopping it from going out, they maybe double bluffed the referee. Definitely. That's
big corner.
Definitely a corner kick. We've played the extra minute of stoppage time at the end of extra time. We're going to have penalty kicks. I think when Dwayne Nelson kicks this ball, that will be the final whistle. There is the final whistle. The Dungannon fans on the far side are on their feet. They have been given a magnificent day out, no matter what happens from this point on, by their players. There's Rory Hamill, who scored the first goal. Harry Fay shaking hands with Brian McLaughlin, the assistant manager. It's not over yet. Don't move. We have the drama of penalty kicks to come. Alan Mannus, I'm sure, will play a big role in that. And so too will Dwayne Nelson. He's been magnificent so far. A couple of magnificent saves in extra time. It's a historic cup final. It's the first time in an Irish Cup final that we will have a penalty shootout. Who will win it? Who knows?
Well, indeed, who knows, Joel? Thank you very much indeed. Chris Morgan has had to leave the studio, so Billy Hamilton is alongside Marty Quinn and myself. History in the making, but Linfield, will they rue the lots of chances they had, Billy?
I think they will. I think towards the end of normal play and in extra time there, Linfield were the team most likely to score. But unfortunately, they couldn't convert their chances, and now it's a bit of a lottery, Jackie. The winner is going to be the team that has got the mental strength to lift themselves with tired legs and be positive and say, I'm going to score.
And Marty, when we think of Linfield's record of missing penalty kicks, from various penalty kick takers, Dungannon might be feeling we could nip this.
Well, at this moment in time, if I was in the Dungannon camp, I'd be quite confident they can win the cup. They succeeded in the semi-final. I think they scored all 5 penalties against Cliftonville to get to the final. So, yeah, as you say, Linfield's history of missed penalties in the last season, the last couple of seasons, Dungannon have got to be favourites. They've got to be positive, just get their head down, don't change their mind and put it in the onion bag, as they say. But
right, Marty, thank you very much indeed. I believe Thomas Kane has been joined by Terry McCrory, the assistant manager of Dungannon Swifts. There he is.
Terry, after 120 minutes of football, it's penalties now. What's going through the head?
Well, it's in the lap of the gods now, Thomas. I think the very fact that we've come back twice against Linfield in their own backyard, I think the boys have done absolutely magnificent, and I think we've deserved that, to get maybe a couple of wee bits of luck during the game.
Have you been practicing penalties in the build-up to this match?
Well, we've prepared exactly as we did for the semi-finals. That's all I'll say on that, Thomas. So we'll see. It's anybody's now.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Terry.
Well, pensive looks. Thanks, Thomas. Pensive looks there from Alan Mannus and Dwayne Nelson. The fans, what a great day they have had. Linfield, they would have come here expecting a straightforward result, a victory to clinch the double. It hasn't worked out that way. Dungannon Swifts fans, well, whatever happens, Billy Hamilton, they can be really, really proud of what their team have done today.
They can, Jackie. The team has done them proud. They've, if you look where Dungannon have came from the last few years, the setup they have now, they've established themselves as not just also-rans, but a team to be reckoned with. And I know they've a good youth setup, great facilities, and the icing on the cake is an Irish Cup final for them. Now, psychologically, they've gone behind the Linfield at Windsor Park. They've come back twice, and now they might say to themselves, right, this is our day. And they might go in with a more positive attitude to the penalties in Linfield. But it's going to be an interesting 5 or 6 minutes to see the outcome of these penalty kicks.
Yeah, Marty, I'm just thinking, we're looking at Dwayne Nelson there and Alan Mannus there in the firing line. Chance to become heroes. What about those lads there, the outfield players? You need a bit of bottle, as they say, to step up and take one.
Very much so, Jackie. The first couple of penalties are vitally important, and if both teams can score their penalties, I would like to be getting into, if it's 4 each, maybe getting in to take the last couple of kicks. Be a very nerve-wracking position to be in. But as I say, Dungannon have practiced it, and I think they've practiced it very hard. They went through against Cliftonville, they've done it, so there's no reason why they can't do it today. And Linfield will certainly be in their minds who's going to be taking the first couple of penalties, and that's going to be a very difficult decision for the staff or for the players to make.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering, is it a lift for Linfield? They are going to be taken at the end of the Alex Russell stand, where all those Linfield supporters are, and Jim Irvin is the first man walking up. So let's go back to Stephen and Joel.
Thanks, Jackie. Jim Irvin, who missed a penalty in the CIS Cup final last season. And Linfield, we should remind you, have already lost a penalty shootout here this season, beaten by Glentoran in the semi-final of the CIS Cup. Here comes Jim Irvin. Saved by Dwayne Nelson. And once again in a final, Jim Irvin fails from the penalty spot. Went for power down the middle, Stephen. Goalkeeper, strong hand.
Magnificent, absolutely magnificent. Dwayne Nelson, he threw himself right across on the right-hand side, lifts a big left hand, big strong left hand, so keeps the ball out.
Great save. Johnny Montgomery will face Alan Mannus.
Johnny normally goes for power as well, Joe. We expect this to hit the back of the net.
Excellent penalty. Harry Fay is delighted. Sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. And Dungannon have the early advantage. 1 up after 1 penalty each. What a day he's having.
Thomas Stewart now needs to keep his composure, needs to get 1 on the board here.
Substitute Thomas Stewart. Looks like he's going to hit it right-footed. Great save again by Nelson. They're 2-0 in front.
You have to say that is a terrible penalty, Joe.
Well, there will be 2-0 in front if they score this one. I got a little bit excited, but it's a brilliant save again by Nelson, who really enjoys this particular date in the calendar year. On the 5th of May last year, he was playing in a five-a-side tournament for a pub team that booked their place at the World Cup finals. Is he going to win an Irish Cup medal on the 5th of May this year?
It's the things that dreams are made of, Joe.
Here comes Rory Hamill. Already scored during the 120 minutes. Can he put Dungannon 2-0 up? Saved by Mannus!
That was a fantastic save.
1-0 to Dungannon after 2 penalties each.
A nice height for the goalkeeper, but tell you what, well struck penalty and a great save.
Goalkeepers on top in a penalty shootout. Glenn Ferguson has also missed from the spot for Linfield in recent seasons, but he's been on target already today. Calls upon all his experience. He nearly saved that one as well.
My. All these players, Joel, are going down the centre.
Well, does that speak of nerves to you, Stephen?
Yeah.
So he nearly kept that out to Wayne Nelson. He was going the wrong way, but strong hand. Here comes Everaldo, his last game for Dungannon Swifts. Moving back home to Brazil. Can he score in the shootout? Saved by Mannus!
You'd have to say another poor penalty. Nerves coming into it. No power in the shot whatsoever. Disappointing.
Does anybody want to win the cup? (1-1) in the shootout.
Mark Dixon, this boy can hit a penalty.
Tucks it away into the corner. Excellent penalty. Goalkeeper dived the right way, but he still couldn't get there. Just as well, it was in the right place.
Great penalty, right tucked into the corner, hit the side of the net.
Macari, excellent composure. Scored the free kick, of course, for Dungannon that got them level.
Tremendous penalty from Rodney, kept his composure, tucked it up into the top corner of the net.
Well, Pat McShane's coming forward. He's missed penalties this season. He was at one stage Linfield's penalty taker. 1 penalty remains, so effectively it is sudden death.
It's a very long walk, Joe, from the halfway line to go up and hit a penalty under this type of pressure. But if anybody can do it, this man can.
Well, the ball's moved off the spot. He has to replace it. It's not what you want in this type of situation. Excellent penalty.
Oh, very composed penalty kick. Took his time, picked his spot.
David Jeffrey biting the fingernails. Well, what a moment for young Mark McAllister coming up as Pat McShane strides back, having done his bit. Mark McAllister strides forward. The young striker, still only a teenager. He must score to keep the Dungannon dream alive. If he misses, Linfield, the holders, will have won the cup. Saved by Mannus! Alan Mannus redeems himself after an error earlier in the game, which gave Dungannon an equalising goal. He's the hero of the penalty shootout. It's joy for Linfield. They've won the double in back-to-back seasons. It's the first time it's happened since Donegal Celtic managed it in 1938. 84 years since it happened for Linfield. A wonderful, wonderful win for Linfield. Some of the fans have got very excited and they're on the pitch. That'll delay the presentation of the trophy. But disappointment, bitter heartbreak for Dungannon Swifts, who had their noses ahead in the penalty shootout. But eventually, it just fell apart, and poor Mark McAllister.
You have to feel so sorry for Dungannon Swifts. You know, they've been tremendous all day. I feel so sorry for Harry there. He got down on his knees there. He was absolutely buckled. and it's disappointing. But you have to credit Linfield. There were 2 goals behind in the penalty shootout. They held their nerve, took some good penalties. That man, Mannus, made some tremendous saves, and they've come out winners. They're worthy champions. They're worthy winners of the cup. They were excellent in the second period today, of second half and extra time. Worthy winners today.
Man of the match, Stephen.
Well, you know, if Dungannon had won the cup today, the goalkeeper of Dean Nelson would have been my man of the match. However, I thought this young man had a superb game for Linfield today. I thought he orchestrated everything that was good about their midfield, their penetrating runs. My man of the match is Jimmy Mulgrew.
Jimmy Mulgrew, the man of the match. That'll please the Linfield manager, would have thought. There he is, Jimmy Mulgrew gets a hug from the manager. Or is that Gary Eccles? It's a stunt double.
Sorry, I thought Joel was going to continue there. Jamie Mulgrew is the man of the match. Linfield have ended up as winners. A pulsating final, 120 minutes. Nail-biting tension of a penalty shootout. Disappointment for the men in white. They can't believe it. The men in blue have clinched a league and cup double. I believe we can talk to the evergreen skipper playing his 901st game today. Noel Bailey is with Thomas.
No, 901 games so far. Where does that one rank overall? It's right up there. That was a tough game. You know, fantastic first half, and then, you know, with a bit of an onslaught, we went forward and just couldn't get the goal, and looked doomed for the penalties. But scored the last 3. I think it was a big Alan did a fantastic job.
What happened? What's happening, Rod?
Big man comes up, 3 great saves. I mean, to save any penalty, but to save 3 in a penalty shootout, absolutely brilliant. Deserves all the plaudits he'll get for it.
Alan Mannus, how nerve-wracking is it as a goalkeeper being involved in a penalty shootout?
Well, in a way it is nerve-wracking, and in another way, you know, you've got a good chance of saving it. If you pick the right way, you've got a good chance. So obviously we didn't want it to go to penalties, but it did. We dealt with it when it happened like that, so we're very pleased with the result.
Overall, whenever you're in between those posts and you see the first 2 penalties saved, what kind of pressure's on you then?
I just thought, oh no, here we go again, us with the penalties. But you know, it takes a lot of confidence and you know, a lot of courage for the ones that come up and take the penalties that they did, even the ones who miss. You know, it takes a lot of courage. Cup final, you know, I have to go in this, but then once you get to choose who's going to take the penalty themselves. So a lot of credit goes to them. A lot of credit goes to the whole team throughout the game. So, you know, we didn't play superb, but you know, we battled hard, we played well, and they've done it very well as well. So credit to them.
Thanks very much. Back to you, Jackie.
Thank you, Thomas. It has been a magnificent cup final. Shane McCabe there, I saw Rodney McAree, but the scarves are waved by the Linfield fans at the end of it all. They must have been really, really worried, because Dungannon, Rory Hamill, 31 years of age yesterday, got a marvellous goal, but that trophy is on its way, and it's going to stay in the Linfield trophy cabinet. Billy, what can I say about this final? It's had everything.
It has had everything. With 2 teams who've given everything they had, and it's so sad there has to be a loser. You go to penalty kicks, and I don't think I've seen it before, Jackie, where you miss your first 2 penalty kicks and still end up winning the cup. It's been exceptional. It's been an amazing game, but I feel so sorry for Dungannon, what they've put into, what they've brought to this final, and they end up going away with nothing.
Yeah, and when you think of the Dungannon Swifts goalkeeper, as those Linfield fans celebrate, Marty, I mean, he's ended up a loser, and he's had a marvellous game.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Haven't got off to a bad start. He won't be happy with one of the goals he conceded, but he had a great game after that, and it was absolutely outstanding. Made a couple of good saves from the penalties, and you know, 2-0 up. Linfield shouldn't have been allowed back into it, but fair play to Linfield. This is typical Linfield.
OK, let's go to a man who scored in real time. He also scored a penalty kick. He's Glenn Ferguson.
Glenn, when you went 1-0 up after just 3 minutes, did you think you'd be in this situation now?
We didn't really, you know. But we knew Dungannon was not going to be easy, you know. Well, we planned to get an off the start like that, you know, to try and settle our nerves down a bit, but all credit to them. You know, they came back at us twice, you know, went in front twice, and they came back twice, and they made it very hard for us. And they are a good side, there's no taking away from them. They're not in the Irish Cup final for no reason. You know, they play good football, they worked really hard, and for over 120 minutes to give us a game.
How frustrating was it not being able to get the goal in normal time and then going through extra time with a string of chances?
Yeah, I think the stats will show we probably deserved to win the game, you know. Their keeper pulled off some good saves, you know, we nicked here and there. But, you know, we're just delighted they've won it. You know, after going 2-0 down in the penalty shootout, to come back, you know, the big man's proved again how good he is. You know, he's probably the best in the country.
And finally, a word in Dungannon, very tough way to go out.
Nobody likes to lose in penalty shootouts, you know, but they must have thought when they went 3-0 up, you know, they're in with a shout. But I say, fair play to our boys, they showed an awful lot of credit, and we stuck in there and it's paid off in the end.
Go ahead and collect yet another winner's medal.
Thank you, Thomas. Mulgrew is going up and Billy Hamilton to get the man of the match, and I think you would agree with that.
Yes, I was very, very impressed with him. You know, he bossed the midfield, and what I liked about him, he's very hard to shake off the ball. But more so towards the end of the game when other players were tiring, you know, they give the ball to him, and he still had petrol in the tank to run on, and, you know, a thoroughly deserved man of the match.
Yeah, and I think then the officials go up and then the losers and then the winners. One of the losers, a disappointing skipper today, Rodney McAree, who faces knee surgery next week. I'm sure he's as disappointed as Harry Fay as manager there in your picture. Let's hear from Rodney. He's with Thomas.
Rodney, how disappointing is it to go out in that way, especially having gone back twice?
I think we showed a lot of character throughout the 90 minutes. I felt in the second 45 minutes we died off slightly. We invited Linfield on, but first 45 minutes I thought we done very well. We gave away 2 very poor goals, although they say they give 2 poor goals away. Very disappointing in losing penalties, but I see no other way how you're going to decide it, to be honest. Boys are out there, boys are dead on their feet. It's been a long season. Both teams have been playing since June. It's a long season, and it's very disappointing to lose it, but we got to take a bit of credit out of it. We took Linfield 120 minutes, the penalty kicks, leading in penalty kicks, and then unfortunate for the boys that missed the penalty kicks. But
what can you say about all the players who played today and the fans' great support?
Our support's come out today has been absolutely magnificent, and fair play to them. They've come out, they've supported us. I wish we would get them every week. You never know, we might attract a couple more 100 back out of what's here today for our weekly support. I'd like to say congratulations to Linfield. Linfield have been fantastic over the season, represented the AFA well or the Irish League well in the Setanta, and also winning the league and now the double. So hopefully they can go on and make a treble now next week.
Thanks very much, Rodney. Very gracious loser. Thank you.
Rodney, yes, very gracious in defeat. Top man, top midfielder. Let's go back to Joel. The players are receiving their medals. The losers going through there at the moment. Joel, it's all yours.
Thanks, Jackie. And Everaldo there coming through. Of course, he missed a penalty. It's his last appearance for Dungannon Swifts. How disappointing for him that it didn't end in success. Shane McCabe going through as well, and young Paul Barron, who didn't get on today, and then Rodney McAree, who we were hearing from, and hopefully his surgery goes well and he'll be back fit and well to play for Dungannon Swifts in Europe next season. They're into Europe, they're in the Setanta Cup despite the fact that they didn't win today. They'll be playing their European matches here at Windsor Park, I think. David Jeffrey is a very popular man around Windsor Park these days, not surprisingly.
Linfield Football Club.
Let me recognise that voice of the BBC's Alan Simpson. Apparently he presents the tallest show in the country on BBC Radio Ulster.
Pat McShane.
Jim Irvin going forward first. I bet he's pretty pleased after missing that first penalty. Takes a little bottle to take the first penalty in a shootout, Stephen.
Well, I thought that Jim Irvin was absolutely outstanding there. It was really a toss-up between him and Jimmy Mulgrew for man of the match for me. But to stand up there and a lot of bottle took his penalty.
There's William Murphy. What a trophy cabinet he has this year. Ulster Footballer of the Year. Another Irish Cup winners medal. He won his first winners medal last year. That completed his Irish Cup or his Irish League set of medals. He won every medal that he could.
And now he's got 2 consecutive seasons. Jimmy Mulgrew, what a day for him, man of the match. And he was disappointed last year to miss out in the Linfield squad last year. He wasn't a part of it. I was talking to one of the Linfield board today who tried to console him, and they said, Jimmy, next year it'll be your year. And my goodness, how it has been.
Oh, he was simply outstanding today, Jimmy Mulgrew. Everything that was good about him today was just all went through him. He was superb.
And of course, Mr. David Jeffrey, Alfie Wiley.
All the backroom staff are coming up. They're trying to make room for David Jeffrey.
And they'll need a lot of room to get him in there.
He's got a bottle of champagne. Noel Bailey, 901st appearance, as Jackie was saying. He will get to lift the Irish Cup yet again. Bobby Jemison, the chairman of the Premier League committee, is there. Mr. Tom Ward from JJB Sports, the new sponsors. David Jeffrey's trying to get the champagne ready. Noel Bailey lifts the Irish Cup, the second piece of silverware this season. Next Saturday he can lift a third with the Setanta Cup. Linfield on course for the treble. What a season they've had, Stephen.
Oh, it's just been absolutely outstanding for them. You know, the 4 trophy win last year, it's hard to emulate. They've come back this year. They've been an outstanding performance week in and week out, and it's great to see. You know, this club has been built on proud tradition, and they've really, everything that they've done in the last 2 or 3 years will rate alongside anything that's gone before. Full credit to David Jeffrey. He's built a squad that is outstanding, from not only from 1 to 11, but probably from about 1 to 25, and he deserves all the credit he gets.
These are the photographs you'll see in your back pages tomorrow. There'll be quite a party, I would have thought, here tonight, but then it'll be back to business for next week. David Jeffrey, of course, we listened for so long about how he'd been so unlucky as a player, never to win an Irish Cup medal. My goodness, he's certainly making up for it as a manager. Yeah. Back-to-back Irish Cup successes, the first time Linfield have managed that since 1995. But you always have to have some feeling for the losers, and particularly Dungannon today, who have graced this final, their first appearance in an Irish Cup final. My goodness, we'll always remember what they gave us today. They contributed to a wonderful final, but in the end, it's Linfield's day. Jackie, a tremendous game, I'm sure you'll agree, but some sympathy for Dungannon Swifts.
Absolutely, the trophy, the glory goes to David Jeffrey and Linfield, but we saw the dejected Dungannon Swifts trudging off there, and they deserve so much credit for making this 120 minutes and the penalty shootout so exhilarating for all of us today. I hope you've enjoyed it at home. Big David will enjoy the night, and Billy, as we said, I mean, it's an amazing game, football, isn't it? And it comes down to a penalty shootout.
It had everything, Jackie, and you know, I don't think it's the fairest way to finish a cup final, but it has to be done. And Linfield looked dead and buried after 2 penalty misses, but it just is a testament to the resilience of Linfield, how they just kept at it. And David Jeffrey has got a never say die attitude instilled in every single one of them, and it showed today. You know, I thought in penalties it was all over for them, but they came back and they won it.
And Marty, as you look at that as the Coleraine manager, I mean, most clubs are trying to catch up. They're playing catch up with Linfield.
Yeah, very much so, Jackie. It's going to be like that for the next few years, in my opinion. Linfield have now got 6 full-time pros on board, and probably they'd like to add to that. So we're all, as you say, chasing Linfield, and it's going to be very difficult to knock them off the throne which they're on at the moment. They dug in today, they showed a lot of bottle. You know, the first 2 penalties being missed, a lot of players would have went for cover, but they didn't. They stood up and took their chances and deservedly won the trophy.
Well, we're almost ready to go off air. We can hear from the man himself, David Jeffrey.
David, what does it mean to win yet another trophy?
Can't even begin to express it. Dungannon, I've got to say, need an awful lot of credit. They came and they fought so very hard. We knew it was going to be desperately difficult. Second half, I thought, you know, when you look at the stats, you know, we chance after chance. Dungannon kept battling. Alan made a bit of a hames of their second goal, but then he came up trumps. And what can I say? It's just all about character. They're out in their feet, absolutely out in their feet, and what they've done is unbelievable.
2/3 of the treble done. Setanta Cup next weekend. Can you win the historic treble?
We certainly have a good chance, and we'll rest up, and then we're going to give it our very, very best shot. But for today, we're going to enjoy today.
Thanks very much, David. Back to you, Jack.
Cheers, Thomas. Thank you.
Big David, he's very happy indeed. My thanks to Marty, to Billy and to Chris Morgan, who had to leave earlier. It's been a great day, it's been a great final. Linfield are the champions, but fair play to Dungannon. They played very well. Well done, Linfield. Bye-bye.
Mountainside, cool water to light aside. Give me these two strong eyes to see the difference between truth and lies. Give me this feeling when you kiss me, baby, every day and every night. That's all I need, yes, everything else gonna be alright. Are you hungry for a little more than what you had before? Are you hungry for a taste of life? What's your appetite? Are you hungry?
Of the local soccer season.